5 years later, the wife brought her children to blow up the wealthy family. A misunderstanding caused Sheng Ran to break up with Mu Jiuye. After she became pregnant and gave birth to a child, the child was snatched away. Sheng Ran desperately escaped. 5 years later, Sheng Ran returned with a vest. Those who framed her will be sent to hell by her own hands. Chapter 1: Returning Home. Late at night, inside a small private clinic, Sheng Ran lay on the bed, nearly lifeless as she struggled through childbirth. Blood soaked the sheets beneath her, yet she gritted her teeth, determined to bring her child into the world. Even now, she hadn't uttered a single cry. The doctor hesitated, a flicker of pity flashing through his eyes. The rumors about the eldest Miss Sheng's strong will to live were indeed true. Sheng Yao, covering her nose, entered the room. Seeing the doctor's hesitation, she snapped impatiently, "Why are you just standing there? Do you want to die? Hurry up and use the drug." Startled by Sheng Yao's sharp words, the doctor no longer hesitated. "Yes, I'll administer it now." He took out a specially prepared syringe and injected the drug into Sheng Ran. Instantly, her pale face regained a trace of color, and moments later, the cry of a newborn filled the air. However, at the same time, Sheng Ran's vital signs began to drop rapidly. Sheng Yao smirked in satisfaction. "Sheng Ran, if you want to blame someone, blame Ninth Master. It was his order to keep the child but discard the mother." Clinging to her last shred of strength, Sheng Ran clenched her fists upon hearing this. "Mu Yanting wouldn't he do this?" Sheng Yao scoffed, "Oh? Just because you say so. You killed Ninth Master's mother, has long since despised you. Do you really think anyone still cares about your worthless life?" The doctor, now holding the newborn, turned to Sheng Yao. "Miss Sheng, this drug has significant effects on infants. The child needs to be taken to a major hospital immediately. Give me my child back." Sheng Ran, fueled by sheer willpower, reached out to grab Sheng Yao, but the bodyguards behind her quickly restrained her. Seeing Sheng Ran's pitiful state, Sheng Yao felt a wave of satisfaction. "Sister, you can just wait here to die." She turned to the doctor and instructed coldly, "Remember, this clinic caught fire tonight. No one survived." As she spoke, her subordinate handed the doctor a check. "Don't worry, I'll handle it," the doctor replied, his face lighting up at the sum on the check. Any trace of conscience he had disappeared. "Once this is done, leave the capital immediately and never come back. Otherwise," Sheng Yao's voice turned menacing. The doctor shuddered. "Understood. I'll leave the capital right after I take care of it." He personally escorted Sheng Yao to her car. As she got in, she glanced back at him and ordered her bodyguards, "Once my car leaves, burn the clinic down." Her money wasn't so easily earned, she only trusted the dead to keep secrets. The bodyguard bowed his head. "Yes." Back inside, the doctor returned to the room, only to be met with a shocking sight. Sheng Ran had pulled out her four and had already delivered her baby girl. However, both mother and child were on the brink of death. Amid her, what a tragedy. The doctor shook his head, unwilling to intervene. "Miss Sheng, if you want to blame someone, blame your sister. Don't come after me, I'm just trying to survive." With that, he moved to cover them with a sheet. "Don't move." Sheng Ran's eyes shot open as she suddenly pressed a sharp scalpel to his throat, drawing blood. "Where did they take my child?" Her eyes burned with fury. The doctor trembled violently. I don't know, that person was masked." "Who is this Ninth Master you speak of?" Sheng Ran pressed the scalpel in deeper. The doctor broke into a cold sweat. It's Mu Yanting. Please, don't kill me." Sheng Ran's eyes darkened. "Impossible. No matter how much Mu Yanting hates me, he would never abandon his own child." The Mu family had longed for this child for years. Even if she had caused Mu Yanting's mother's death, the Mu family would never deny their heir. "It's true. A masked woman gave me 1,000,000 yuan and said it was an order from Ninth Master." Sheng Ran's mind sharpened. "Who was that woman?" "I don't know. She was masked." Just then, roaring flames suddenly engulfed the clinic. The doctor panicked. I haven't set the fire yet. What's happening?" 5 years later. At Beiping Airport, Sheng Ran stepped off the plane, one hand holding her small child and the other gripping her luggage. She was dressed in a sleek professional outfit, but it did little to hide her stunning beauty. Beside her, a little boy with a lollipop in his mouth looked around curiously. His delicate features and bright, almond-shaped eyes made him irresistibly adorable. When he noticed people glancing at him, he waved cheerfully, instantly melting the hearts of passers-by. Their looks are out of this world. They could be celebrities. That little boy is so polite. He's making me want a child too. Another day of being jealous of other people's genetically gifted kids. And then, behave yourself. We're not abroad anymore, so keep a low profile. Seeing her son about to blow a kiss, Sheng Ran sighed and pulled him back. Remember what I told you, we must keep our identities a secret here. Be good. She couldn't understand where Sheng Ran got his energy. He could never stay still. Don't worry, mommy. I'm always well behaved, Sheng Ran assured her with an innocent grin. Sheng Ran ruffled his hair. Good boy. As Sheng Ran scanned his surroundings, his eyes suddenly locked onto a boy walking out of the VIP lounge. His gaze brightened. Mommy, my stomach hurts. I need the restroom. Sheng Ran paused. Can you wait until we leave the airport, sweetheart? There were too many people around, and she didn't feel comfortable letting him go alone. Sheng Ran clutched his stomach dramatically. Mommy, I can't hold it. I'll go first, don't worry, I have my phone watch. Before she could respond, he darted off. Slow down. Sheng Ran called out helplessly. Her hands were full with luggage, making it difficult to chase after him. Fortunately, Anan was mature and quick-witted, so she wasn't too worried. But instead of heading to the restroom, Sheng Ran made a sharp turn toward the VIP lounge. At the entrance, he pulled out a VIP card. Hello, sister. My mommy is shopping nearby. Can I wait for her inside? The staff member melted at his adorable, gentlemanly demeanor and smiled. Of course, go ahead. Thank you, sister. You're so kind. Sheng Ran quickly ran inside. Meanwhile, the boy from earlier had just exited the restroom when... Ow! The two children collided and stumbled backward. Mu Jiuye rubbed his forehead. Hey, why weren't you looking? His voice trailed off as he took in the boy before him. Why do you look exactly like me? Sheng Ran's eyes sparkled. His research had been right. I knew it. You're my twin brother. Chapter 2: The twins swap identities. Mu Jiuye said with a straight face, You are talking nonsense, I am daddy's only son, I don't have a brother. In fact, he was very shocked by Sheng Ran's appearance. How could this person look exactly like him? Sheng Ran looked skeptical. Really? You are an only child. Then who is your mother? I don't have a mommy. Mu Jiuye originally hated talking to strangers, but when he saw the child in front of him whose face was exactly the same as his, he couldn't help but talk to Sheng Ran. What a coincidence. I don't have a dad either. Do you think we could be twins? Otherwise, how could we look so alike? Sheng Ran was very excited. He knew that his research was correct. This child must be his younger brother. How is that possible? Daddy never told me about mommy, nor did he tell me that I have a brother. Mu Jiuye said he didn't believe it, but he already had some doubts in his heart. What's impossible? If you don't believe it, just give me a strand of your hair and we can do a paternity test. Sheng Ran said as he took out his cell phone. I have a picture of my mommy, do you want to see it? Mu Jiuye couldn't help but feel curious. Let me see. Sheng Ran handed him the phone. The woman in the photo is cooking, and the sunlight falls on her delicate and beautiful eyebrows, making her look pretty and gentle. Mu Jiuye instinctively felt a sense of closeness to the woman in the photo. His intuition told him that the person in the photo might really be his mother. Look, we both have peach blossom eyes, and so does mommy. The eyes of the beautiful woman in the photo really looked like his. Mu Jiuye was shaken. Could she really be my mommy? Of course, otherwise how could we look so similar? Sheng Ran said, pulling out a strand of Mu Jiuye's hair. I'll do a paternity test later and send you the report. Mu Jiuye hesitated for a moment, holding her little hand, and nodded. Okay, I'll wait for your paternity test report. My mommy is here, do you want to see my mommy? Sheng Ran continued to seduce. Mu Jiuye was about to speak when his cell phone suddenly vibrated. Mu Jiuye answered the phone, and the bodyguard's voice came over. Master, where are you going? Master Ju is still waiting outside to pick you up. When the bodyguards got off the plane, they suddenly found that Mu Jiuye was missing and they became extremely worried. Wait a moment, I have diarrhea in the bathroom in the VIP room. Mu Jiuye said and hung up the phone. My family is looking for me. Where is mommy? Can I go see her? Mu Jiuye looked at Sheng Ran anxiously. Sheng Ran shook her head, you can't see mommy directly. Mommy doesn't want anyone to find out her identity. If your bodyguards see her, mommy's identity will be exposed. What should I do then? Mu Jiuye really wanted to see mommy to confirm, and he felt very disappointed when he learned that he couldn't see her. I have a good idea. We look so alike, why don't we switch identities? I'll go meet daddy and you go meet mommy. How do you think? Mu Jiuye was a little tempted, but hesitant. That's not good. My dad is very powerful and smart. What if he finds out? It's okay. We look exactly the same. How could daddy tell that I'm a fake? Sheng Ran was very confident. Don't waste any more time. Your daddy's people will be here soon. Do you want to change? Mommy is very good. She is beautiful and gentle. She holds me to sleep every night and tells me bedtime stories. Mu Jiuye was even more moved. Although his daddy loved him very much, he seldom hugged him, let alone slept with him or told him stories. Although he is precocious, he is only a 5-year-old child and deep down he still longs for family affection. After thinking about it, Mu Jiuye agreed, okay, I'll trade with you, but if you get the paternity test report, you must send me a copy. Sheng Ran, who finally succeeded, smiled with satisfaction, don't worry, I will let daddy and mommy recognize each other. From now on, brother will protect you. Mu Jiuye frowned, who said you are the older brother? We are twins, maybe I am the older brother. But deep down he was actually looking forward to seeing his mommy. If his mommy and daddy recognized each other, he would no longer be a motherless child. They changed their clothes and Sheng Ran left the bathroom first. The bodyguards were all in the VIP room. When they saw Sheng Ran coming out, they hurried over and said, Master, you finally came out. Let's go. Master Jiu is waiting for you. Sheng Ran nodded with a straight face, got it, lead the way. Mu Jiuye stayed in the bathroom for a long time, and only went out after receiving a message from Sheng Ran. He followed Sheng Ran's instructions and found Sheng Ran at the door of another bathroom. Mommy is so beautiful, 100 times more beautiful than in the photo. Mu Jiuye ran over excitedly. Why did you take so long to come out? Sheng Ran grabbed his hand. Mommy's hands are so soft. Mu Jiuye held mommy's hand, feeling very excited. He wanted to speak but was afraid of being exposed, so he pursed his lips nervously. After not seeing him speak for a long time, Sheng Ran squatted down curiously, baby, what's wrong with you? Mommy, I'm fine, I'm just too tired. I want to go back and rest. Mu Jiuye said nervously. Sheng Ran smiled and nodded, okay, let's take a taxi back now. On the other side, Sheng Ran was also taken into the car by bodyguards. Why did you come out so late? Mu Jiuye asked calmly. He was wearing a high-end suit, with distinct facial features and a pair of sharp phoenix eyes. He was holding a computer in his hand and seemed to be processing something, with a noble and cold temperament. Oh, daddy is much more handsome than in the photo. Sheng Ran gave daddy a score of 9 in her heart. Why aren't you talking? Mu Jiuye frowned as he saw his son staring at him blankly. I just ate something bad on the plane and have diarrhea. Sheng Ran reacted and spoke nonsense seriously. How did he get a stomachache? How did you take care of him? Mu Jiuye glanced at the bodyguard with a sharp gaze. The bodyguard was so scared that he immediately knelt down. Master Jiu, we didn't let the young master eat the food on the plane. He ate the finest fruits we prepared. Sheng Ran didn't expect daddy to be so strict, and quickly explained, it's none of their business, I was greedy and secretly drank the drinks on the plane. Mu Jiuye said sternly, as the successor of the Mu family, how can you indulge in oral pleasure? Sheng Ran was stunned. What? Just by drinking a drink, he had reached the level of indulging in oral pleasure? Mu Jiuye, you didn't take good care of the young master. Go back and get 50 lashes. Thank you, Master Jiu, for your mercy. The bodyguards breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, Master Jiu showed mercy today. Sheng Ran was stunned. How could these bodyguards be so happy after being whipped 50 times? No way, is daddy a devil? Why haven't you spoken for so long? Mu Jiuye looked at his son and frowned. Chapter 3. What is the bad woman planning? Sheng Ran, nothing, just daddy, are you punishing me too much? I want to eat these, it's none of their business. Mu Yanting said calmly, their job is to protect your safety. If they don't do it well, they will be punished. The bodyguards quickly said, yes, young master, please don't say any more. Just 50 lashes, it's better than making Master Jiu angry. Sheng Ran was full of doubts. Why was the atmosphere in Daddy's house so serious? While Daddy's attention was on the computer again, Sheng Ran took out her phone and sent a message to Mu Jiuye. Is Daddy very fierce? I just used the excuse of having diarrhea after secretly drinking a drink on the plane, but he actually asked those bodyguards to take 50 lashes themselves. Mu Jiuye replied with a stern face, Daddy is like this. If anything goes wrong with me, the bodyguards will be punished, so you must be careful and don't get into trouble. Sheng Ran scratched his hair, this is a bit difficult for me. What exactly do you mean by getting into trouble? Not following the rules is called getting into trouble. I'll send you my schedule. After Mu Jiuye sent the message, he sent a file. Sheng Ran clicked on it and found that there were more than 50 of them. The first one is to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and run for an hour. Sheng Ran's eyes went dark. No way, he is still a child. Isn't this schedule too abnormal? Sheng Ran, what will happen if you don't follow the schedule? Mu Jiuye, don't do that. The housekeeper will supervise you. If you don't do well, he will tell Daddy and punish you according to the family rules. It will hurt. Sheng Ran regretted it. This was not the life a child should live. He suddenly wanted to change back. There are also family rules. Mu Jiuye, have you been living like this for so many years? Mu Jiuye, yes, it's not difficult. The housekeeper will remind you what to do and when. Sheng Ran frowned and said, okay, he will make a sacrifice for mommy's lifelong event. Get out of the car. Mu Yanting said lightly. Sheng Ran took back his phone, jumped out of the car, and his eyes lit up when he saw the scene in front of him. Wow, Daddy's house is so big, so beautiful, so big, and it even has a swimming pool. Master Jiu, Miss Sheng is here and is in the reception room. The housekeeper came over and said, Miss Sheng. Sheng Ran was surprised, could it be mommy? Mu Yanting held Sheng Ran's hand and asked, I'm here to see you. Do you want to see me? Sheng Ran was afraid of revealing the truth if she said more, so she just nodded. Mu Yanting handed his son to the housekeeper, take the young master to the reception room. There are several villas in the Mu garden, and the reception room is not in the same villa as the one where Mu Yanting lives. Daddy, won't you go with me? Sheng Ran asked curiously. Go and meet him yourself. Mu Yanting said and left. The housekeeper smiled and said, young master, let's go. Your aunt is waiting for you. Auntie, is she his mommy's sister? Why have I never heard mommy mention her? Sheng Ran was very curious about this aunt, so he sent a message to Mu Jiuye while walking, what's going on with my aunt? Mu Jiuye replied quickly, a woman who likes to seduce Daddy, she approaches me just to seduce Daddy, no need to be nice to her. Turns out she's a bad woman. Sheng Ran understood, it seems Daddy also needs to be tested to see if he is worthy of mommy. Sheng Yao was sitting in the living room drinking tea impatiently. She smiled when she saw the housekeeper coming over. She walked towards Sheng Ran with a smile, Jiuye, you are finally back from abroad. You seem to have lost some weight. Show your aunt. Sheng Ran avoided her, your perfume is too strong, stay away from me. He could tell at a glance that the smile in Sheng Yao's eyes was fake. This woman was too hypocritical. She didn't look like mommy at all and was definitely not mommy's relative. Sheng Yao's face froze. How could this damn little beast be so disrespectful to her? Thinking of the purpose of her visit, Sheng Yao stood up with a forced smile and looked at the housekeeper, where is Master Jiu? Butler, Master Jiu is handling company matters. Why are you dealing with company matters right after you come back? You don't know how to take more rest. Sheng Yao said, taking out the snack she made, I'll go see Master Jiu. The housekeeper stopped her and said, Miss Sheng, this is inappropriate. Master Jiu never likes to be disturbed when he is working. Sheng Yao smiled slightly, Master Jiu has to eat even if he is busy, otherwise Madame Mu will definitely be unhappy if she finds out. I made some snacks myself, and put less sugar in them. It's just right for Master Jiu to have a taste. Don't skip meals just for work. What do you think, housekeeper? Miss Sheng, we, the servants, will take care of Master Ju's diet. You don't have to worry about it. The housekeeper retorted indifferently. If you have nothing else to do, please go. Sheng Ran nodded like a little adult. You're right, I'm not interested in playing with her, let her go. He gave his dad a thumbs up in his heart. Dad did a great job. Such a scheming woman should not be allowed to get close to her. Sheng Yao was so angry that she almost died. Not only did Mu Jiuye not give her face, but even a servant and housekeeper dared not to give her face. When she becomes Mrs. Mu, she will drive all these people out. Thinking of her mother's instructions when she came here, Sheng Yao still forced herself to suppress the dissatisfaction in her heart. Okay, then I won't bother you anymore, but the Sheng family has an investment recently, please help me hand this document to Master Ju. Sheng Yao took out a sealed file bag and handed it to the housekeeper. The butler took it and said, I will definitely pass it on to Master Ju. Sheng Ran narrowed her eyes. Investment? What was this bad woman planning? Uncle Butler, please give me the documents. I'll deliver them to Daddy later. Sheng Ran ran to the butler and said with a smile. Okay, young master. The housekeeper handed the file bag to Sheng Ran with a smile. Sheng Yao's matter was not important anyway, so it was okay to let the young master handle it. Sheng Ran rolled her eyes and said with a smile, Can you take me back to my room? I want to change my clothes. Okay, I'll take you there. The butler felt a little strange. The young master was much more lively today than before, and he smiled more often. It seemed that the psychologist's advice was correct. The housekeeper sent Sheng Ran to the door and opened it for him. Young master, please. Sheng Ran thanked the housekeeper with a smile, then closed the door. Looking at the room in front of her, Sheng Ran couldn't help but frown. No way, there weren't even any toys in the room. Apart from the white walls and grey sheets, there were a few expensive-looking ornaments, and it was as cold as a hotel room. What kind of life is Mu Jiuye leading? His suitcase had been delivered to the room. Sheng Ran opened the suitcase and took out a large bag of toys from it. Sheng Ran placed a few Ultraman characters at the head of the bed, and took out the assembled Lego and placed it on the cabinet. Sheng Ran nodded and said, Well, it looks a little bit better. Chapter 4 It feels so good to have a mommy. Goo goo. Sheng Ran took out the snacks, sat on the chair and started eating, while sending a message to Mu Jiuye. Sheng Ran, that woman came over with a file bag and talked about something about investment. Is that woman trying to take advantage of Daddy? Mu Jiuye, I don't know. Mommy called me. You can handle it yourself. After sending the message, Mu Jiuye ran out. Mommy, what's wrong? Sheng Ran, I asked you to come out for pizza. Why are you playing with your phone in your room as soon as you got back today? Mu Jiuye's mouth was watering when he smelled the pizza, but he still shook his head. No, Mommy, I don't want to eat it. I won't eat afternoon. No eating afternoon. When did this rule come into being in our family? Sheng Ran didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She walked over and rubbed the little guy's head. You didn't eat much on the plane at noon, so Mommy specially ordered your favorite pizza for you. Come and try it. Mu Jiuye hesitated. Is it okay? Sheng Ran felt very strange. It was just eating a pizza, why did the little guy suddenly become so cautious? Baby, what's wrong with you? Sheng Ran squatted down and touched Mu Jiuye's forehead, worried that he might have a fever. So this is what it feels like to have a mommy. Looking at his mother's worried eyes, Mu Jiuye felt unprecedented warmth in his heart. Mommy, I'm fine. Mu Jiuye couldn't help but rub his mother's hand. I'm glad you're okay. Try it. This is your favorite durian pizza. Sheng Ran smiled and tore off a piece of pizza and handed it to the little guy. It was the first time for Mu Jiuye to eat this kind of thing. He smelled the stinky smell and was very curious. Why would Sheng Ran like to eat such strange food? But seeing his mother's concerned look, Mu Jiuye still took a big bite. The rich durian aroma filled his mouth and he widened his eyes in surprise. It was so delicious. The more he chewed, the stronger the sweet aroma of durian and cheese became. Mu Jiuye couldn't help it and took another big bite. Really delicious. Eat slowly, these are all yours, no one will snatch them from you. Seeing that the little guy had regained his appetite, Sheng Ran also had a smile in his eyes. On the other side, Sheng Ran didn't get a reply for a long time, and he had already eaten several bags of potato chips out of boredom. The housekeeper knocked on the door and said, "Master, your other luggage has been delivered. Where do you want to put it?" Sheng Ran came over and opened the door. "Just put it here." Seeing the butler holding several suitcases, Sheng Ran couldn't help but feel curious. Is Mu Jiuye moving? Why is there so much stuff? At this time, the housekeeper also saw the remaining potato chip packaging in the trash can. The housekeeper was shocked. "Master, what are you doing?" "I'm hungry, let me have some snacks." Sheng Ran felt that the housekeeper was making a fuss out of nothing. What was wrong with him eating potato chips? Sheng Ran took out another pack of biscuits and opened it to eat. "Uncle housekeeper, when is dinner?" The housekeeper quickly closed the door and said, "Young master, have you forgotten that you cannot eat after noon? You can't eat now." Sheng Ran was stunned. Not eating after noon? What does that mean? The housekeeper walked over quickly and took the biscuit from Sheng Ran's hand. "Fortunately, no one has noticed it now. Please give it to me quickly. If Master Ju sees it, both you and I will be punished." "Uncle Butler, do you mean that I don't have dinner today?" Sheng Ran couldn't help but ask. The housekeeper looked puzzled and said, "Master, have you forgotten the rules at home after playing abroad for a while? You are not given food at this time." "No food?" Little Sheng Ran widened her beautiful peach blossom eyes, unable to bear the blow. "He is only 5 years old, and doesn't he even have dinner?" Sheng Ran drooped her face and said, "I understand. Uncle Butler, please go out first." Sheng Ran felt that he had to have a good talk with Mu Jiuye. The butler looked at the snacks still left in the suitcase and said, "Then I will put away all your junk food, young master." Sheng Ran looked heartbroken. "Take it away." The housekeeper left with the snacks, looking worried. He had to go and give those bodyguards a lecture. They actually allowed the young master to bring back so many snacks after going abroad. How did they view the young master? If he leads the young master astray, Master Ju will skin him alive. Sheng Ran lay on the bed, angrily sending several messages to Mu Jiuye. "Mu Jiuye, why did your housekeeper even confiscate my snacks? What's the rule about not eating after noon? Which pervert made that rule? I'm starving now, my snacks." Mu Jiuye felt the phone in his pocket vibrating, so he took out his phone while mommy wasn't paying attention. "You also brought snacks. Daddy doesn't allow me to eat snacks." The rule of not eating after noon was also set by Daddy. "You can't eat after 12 o'clock. Just be patient. You can have breakfast at 4 o'clock tomorrow morning." Sheng Ran sent out several shocked emojis. 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock in the morning. Mu Jiuye, yes, I read after breakfast, and practice martial arts 3 hours later. I can eat more after practicing martial arts, so I won't be hungry easily at night. Mu Jiuye, by the way, if you are really hungry, you can make some glucose to drink. I have it in the cabinet next to my bed. Sheng Ran, have you always lived like this? Mu Jiuye, yes, you just need to get used to it. Glucose is very effective in relieving hunger. And I have nutritional medicine prescribed by the doctor, so it won't hinder my growth." Sheng Ran held her phone with a dull look on her face. She got up at 4 o'clock, had no dinner and could not eat snacks. Is this the life a child should live? Mu Jiuye actually lives this kind of life? Mu Jiuye sent another message, "Mommy loves you so much. She even ordered pizza for dinner. It was delicious." Sheng Ran was helpless. "Then you should eat more. If he wasn't helping mommy find daddy, he wouldn't want to stay here." There was no dinner and the snacks were confiscated. Sheng Ran was completely exhausted. She had just seen her daddy's stimulant. After drinking some glucose, as Mu Jiuye said, Sheng Ran fell asleep on the bed. On the other side, Sheng Ran cleaned up the takeaway boxes and looked at Mu Jiuye with a smile. "I'm full, Mom. Do you want me to go for a walk with you?" Mu Jiuye nodded happily. "Okay." Sheng Ran rubbed the little guy's head and led him out. Mu Jiuye looked at his mommy holding his hand and smiled secretly. "It feels so good to have a mommy. I really want to be with her all the time." Not knowing how Sheng Ran was doing, Mu Jiuye couldn't help but think, how could he get daddy and mommy to recognize each other? "Sheng Ran, baby, mommy has to go out to do something tomorrow, so you have to stay in the hotel alone, is that okay?" Mu Jiuye raised his head. "Mommy, what are you going to do?" "I can help you." Sheng Ran squatted down and rubbed the little guy's soft face. "This is an adult matter, I don't need your help, you just need to stay in the hotel and don't make trouble. Mommy has ordered food for you, and the waiter will bring it to you at mealtime. Mu Jiuye nodded seriously. Okay mommy, I'll be obedient. Be good. Sheng Ran smiled and rubbed the little guy again. She didn't expect that Sheng Ran was so sensible today and didn't even insist on going out with her. Chapter 5, The doctor came even though I stayed in bed. At 4 o'clock the next morning, the housekeeper knocked on Sheng Ran's door on time. Young master, you should get up. After waiting for a while and seeing no light inside, the housekeeper knocked on the door again. Sheng Ran was sleeping when she heard knocks on the door. She pulled up the quilt to cover her head and continued to sleep. After waiting for another 2 minutes without hearing a response, the butler couldn't help but feel worried. Why is the young master so quiet? Has anything happened to him? Young master, young master. The butler was about to push the door open, but he didn't expect the door to be locked from the inside and could not be opened at all. The spare keys to the room were all kept in Mu Jiuye's study. Worried that something might have happened to the young master, the butler hurried over to knock on the study door. Master Jiuye, something bad has happened. There has been no movement in the young master's room for a long time. Can you give me the key so I can go in and take a look? Mu Yanting's pupils suddenly shrank, and he strode towards Mu Jiuye's room with the key. The door was opened. Mu Yanting turned on the light, and saw a bulge on the bed. Mu Yanting strode over and pulled back the quilt. Mu Jiuye, Mu Jiuye. Sheng Ran turned a deaf ear and continued to sleep soundly. Mu Yanting quickly picked up the little guy and said sternly, call Chen Xiaokang over quickly. He touched Sheng Ran's forehead and found it was a little hot and there was a lot of sweat. Butler, I've sent someone to shout. Sheng Ran, who was sleeping soundly, suddenly felt someone picked up and kept touching her face, and she woke up a little. Sheng Ran looked at the anxious Mu Yanting blankly, and she didn't react even after opening her eyes. Daddy. Do you feel any discomfort? Mu Yanting's face was gloomy, and his eyes, which usually showed no emotion, were now full of concern for his son. Uncomfortable. Sheng Ran looked puzzled. How could he be uncomfortable when he was sleeping soundly? The housekeeper was also sweating anxiously. Young master, please hold on a little longer, the doctor will be here soon. Sheng Ran was even more confused. What was he insisting on? Fortunately, I'm staying at your place today. Let me see what's wrong. Chen Xiaokang, who hadn't even put on his clothes, ran over breathlessly. He took Sheng Ran from Mu Yanting's arms, first measured his heart rate and blood pressure, and then took his temperature. Finally, Chen Xiaokang put the things back into the medical box with a suspicious look on his face. The little guy is fine, nothing happened. The housekeeper was apprehensive. Why can't the young master be awakened? I knocked on the door for 5 minutes. In the past, he would only have to knock 2 or 3 times and the young master would get up. So strange. Chen Xiaokang was also puzzled after hearing this. Anyway, there are equipment here, how about doing a full body check? At this time, Sheng Ran reacted. It's over, it's over. He overslept. They thought he was sick and that's why he stayed in bed so long that they even called the doctor. Mu Yanting glanced at Sheng Ran and said calmly, no need for an examination. Mu Jiuye, stay in bed this morning and practice for an extra hour later. Chen Xiaokang didn't know whether to laugh or cry. So you're just staying in bed, that's really strange. He has watched Mu Jiuye grow up. This little guy's self-discipline is comparable to that of the perverted Mu Yanting. It is the first time that Chen Xiaokang has seen the little guy staying in bed. Chen Xiaokang, forget it, the little guy is still young. Children of this age are naturally sleepy. It's normal to stay in bed occasionally, as long as he is not sick. Mu Jiuye glanced at Chen Xiaokang expressionlessly. You want to go to the martial arts training ground too? Chen Xiaokang's expression changed quickly. Practice more, you must practice more. You are right. What a joke, doesn't he want to go to the Mu family's perverted martial arts training ground? At this time, Sheng Ran didn't know the seriousness of the problem. He didn't even react to what Jialian was saying. Worried about revealing the truth by saying too much, Sheng Ran just nodded. I know, Dad. Mu Yanting was very satisfied with the little guy's attitude of admitting his mistake. Go have breakfast. Sheng Ran's stomach had been growling with hunger for a long time. When he heard what his father said, he happily followed his father and cheered. Great. Why are you laughing so happily? Chen Xiaokang looked puzzled. What happened during this period? Why did Mu Yanting suddenly like the martial arts training ground so much? The butler also echoed, the young master has become more lively after his trip abroad. Perhaps it's because he hasn't been to the martial arts training ground for too long and he misses it. Chen Xiaokang. Miss the martial arts training ground. The Mu family is really perverted. The breakfast at Daddy's house was more rich than Sheng Anan had expected, especially the roasted pigeon and seafood. Sheng Anan enjoyed the meal very much. Delicious, delicious. The food here is so delicious. Eat slowly. Mu Yanting had put down his chopsticks by this time. Okay, Daddy. Sheng Anan was in a very good mood after eating the delicious food and agreed happily. Seeing Mu Yanting about to get up, Sheng Anan looked puzzled. Daddy, aren't you going to eat anymore? Mu Yanting just nodded lightly and left. Sheng Anan was very confused. He clearly saw that his dad only took a few bites. Could it be that his dad didn't like such delicious food? Chen Xiaokang had also finished eating. He put down his chopsticks and asked with a smile, "You Mo, how do you feel about being abroad?" "It's very good," Sheng Anan said, picking up a roasted pigeon and putting it in her mouth. It was crispy and delicious. Chen Xiaokang smiled as he looked at Sheng Anan, who was eating happily. "You seem to be more lively now. You stayed in bed this morning." "Not bad. It seems that Stephen's psychologist is more useful than Song Shisha." He had always felt that Mu Yumor was not like a child at all. He was only 4 or 5 years old, but his personality was as dull as an old man. But now the expression on Mu Yumor's face was much more lively than before. Sheng Anan, who was eating, was stunned. Mu Yumor was actually seeing a psychiatrist. Sheng Anan looked at Chen Xiaokang with her dark eyes and asked tentatively, "Do you know Stephen?" Chen Xiaokang, "I don't know him. He is a psychologist that your father found in Country M. Even though your father seems cold and icy every day, he actually cares about you." Sheng Anan, "Then do you know who my mommy is?" Chen Xiaokang was a little surprised. "Why did you suddenly think of asking your mommy? Weren't you not interested before?" Sheng Anan blinked. "After seeing a psychiatrist, I suddenly wanted to ask." "Is that so?" Chen Xiaokang hesitated. "Your daddy doesn't allow us to talk too much about your mommy's affairs." Sheng Anan's eyes lit up. "Could this person know mommy? If you don't tell me and I don't tell you, will anyone else know?" After Sheng Anan finished speaking, he remembered that there was a butler. He looked at the butler standing there with anticipation. "Uncle housekeeper, you're definitely not going to tell Dad about this, right?" The butler looked into Sheng Anan's expectant peach blossom eyes for a few seconds, then softened his heart and quietly retreated to a father position. Sheng Anan secretly gave a thumbs up to the housekeeper. He pinched himself secretly, squeezed out a few tears and looked at Chen Xiaokang. "I just want to know more about my mommy. Daddy never told me about mommy. Don't he and mommy love each other? I haven't seen mommy, and I can't sleep when I think about her sometimes." Chapter 6, Mu Yumor's Secret. Chen Xiaokang's mouth twitched. "Didn't you stay in bed this morning?" "That's because I have insomnia. You see, I never stayed in bed late before." Sheng Anan has always been smart. He thought that this time he only stayed in bed for a while and the housekeeper called a doctor. Mu Yumor definitely didn't stay in bed late before. Sure enough, when Chen Xiaokang heard this, a look of hesitation flashed across his face. Chen Xiaokang watched Mu Yumor grow up and knew his character very well. Mu Yumor had always been an overly self-disciplined child. The little guy was even more mature than some adults. Thinking about how he had to see several psychologists at such a young age, Chen Xiaokang felt a little bit reluctant. "Actually, your dad and your mom used to love each other very much. Your mom died in an accident, and something happened between her and your dad, so your dad doesn't want to talk about your mom." Sheng Anan became even more curious. What happened between them? He was very happy in his heart. "That's great, Daddy and Mommy are in love. Daddy must not know that Mommy is still alive." Chen Xiaokang, "Aren't you curious about how your mom died?" Sheng Anan, "Damn, I forgot to act." Sheng Anan pinched herself again, her beautiful peach blossom eyes filled with tears. "I haven't even seen Mommy, and I already knew she was gone. I just want to know what happened between them that made Daddy not want to mention Mommy." Sheng Anan silently apologized to her mother in her heart. "I'm sorry, Mommy. I said this just because I want to know what happened between you and Daddy. Mommy, please don't be angry with me. Chen Xiaokang, don't be curious about these things. You are still young and shouldn't know these things. Sheng Ainen's face fell. Uncle, you told me everything. If you don't finish, I will secretly check it myself. If Daddy finds out then. Chen Xiaokang was anxious. Stop it, if your dad knew it was me who caused it, he would skin me alive. Sheng Ainen's eyes flashed with a triumphant smile. Then just tell me, I promise, I will never tell Dad, I am very mature. Chen Xiaokang felt a little amused and helpless when he saw a 4-year-old child saying that he was very mature. But considering what Mu Jiuye has experienced since childhood, it is not an exaggeration to say that he is mature. After hesitating for a while, Chen Xiaokang briefly told Sheng Ainen about this. It was all an accident. Your mommy took your grandma out to relax, but she ended up irritating her. She jumped off the building and died in front of your daddy. Sheng Ainen was shocked. Grandma jumped off the building. Chen Xiaokang continued, this matter made your daddy angry with your mommy. Not only did he not tell her that she was pregnant, but she also died accidentally when she gave birth secretly. This is the thing your daddy hates the most. You must not tell her that I said it, and don't ask her about it to provoke your daddy. Sheng Ainen nodded, don't worry, I won't tell anyone. He is full of doubts now. It is so strange. Mommy clearly told him that daddy doesn't want to see her. There must be some misunderstanding. Butler, aham, young master, it's already 4:30. You should go to study. In another hour and a half you have to go to the martial arts training ground. Chen Xiaokang stood up and said, okay, I won't bother you anymore, little guy. See you later. Sheng Ainen said goodbye to Chen Xiaokang with a smile. Then she was taken to Mu Jiuye's study by the housekeeper. Looking at the books on the table, Sheng Ainen was stunned. Economics and management, finance, advanced mathematics, French books, are these really what a 4-year-old should read? The housekeeper reminded, young master, you should read a book. Sheng Ainen came back to her senses and nodded obediently. I understand, Uncle Butler, please wait outside and don't disturb me. Yes. The butler went out respectfully. Sheng Ainen locked the door of the study, took out her cell phone, took a photo of the desk and sent it to Mu Jiuye. Is this the book you want to read? Mu Jiuye woke up a long time ago and stayed in bed for fear of waking up mommy. When he saw the message from Sheng Ainen, he quickly replied, yes, don't be lazy, daddy will check. Sheng Ainen, what a joke, I have no problem with advanced mathematics at most, but the others give me a headache. Mu Jiuye, it's not difficult. I have memorized all of this. If you don't understand anything, just ask me. Sheng Ainen. Have you memorized all these books? Mu Jiuye, yeah, it's very easy. Sheng Ainen thought, if he said no, wouldn't it be so embarrassing? After thinking for a while, he replied, I can read it too, I don't need you to teach me. Mu Jiuye, oh. When Sheng Ainen was about to put down her phone, she thought of something else. By the way, what's going on with your psychologist? Mu Jiuye, nothing, just regular psychological checkups. Song Shisha and Stephen are both my psychologists. Song Shisha comes to give me psychological counseling every Wednesday. Sheng Ainen felt very strange. He saw that Uncle Chen Xiaokang clearly meant that Mu Jiuye went to see a psychologist because he had some problems. Chen Xiaokang didn't doubt him even though he lied about insomnia. After thinking about it, Sheng Ainen sent a message, I am your brother, you can't lie to me. You have to tell me why you are seeing a psychologist, otherwise what if I reveal the truth? Mu Jiuye looked at the message sent by Sheng Ainen, and replied after a long while, don't worry, my answer is different every time, just say whatever you want. Besides, who admits that you are my brother? I am the brother. Sheng Ainen saw that Mu Jiuye didn't want to tell her, so forget it, if he didn't want to tell her then he wouldn't tell her. Anyway, he was so smart that he could find out himself. Sheng Ainen changed the subject, I talked to Uncle Chen Xiaokang about daddy and mommy today. There must be a misunderstanding between them. I will investigate. Mu Jiuye was very curious, what's the matter? Sheng Ainen, if you want to know, then call me brother and I will tell you. Mu Jiuye, stop dreaming, I am smarter than you, I am your elder brother. Sheng Ainen, stop bragging, what can you prove that you are smarter than me? Mu Jiuye, I am a member of the junior class of Imperial University, and I received my degree certificate last month. Sheng Ainen was stunned. A degree certificate? This brother was too arrogant. As expected, he gave up bickering, put down his phone and started reading. In fact, Sheng Ran's talent is no worse than Mu Jiuye's. After he really calmed down, he found that he could understand most of the content. Before he knew it, an hour and a half had passed while he was reading. The butler knocked on the door on time. "Young master, it's time to go to the martial arts training ground." Sheng Ran put down the book, still thinking about advanced mathematics, when she was taken to the martial arts training ground by the butler. The muscular coach looked at Sheng Ran with a smile on his face. "Young master, do you want to hit me first this time, or do you want me to hit you first?" Chapter 7: Strict Mu Family Rules. Sheng Ran was stunned. What was he fighting for? Did he hear it right? He is a 5-year-old kid. Is this really something he can play? The coach asked again without waiting for Sheng Ran to answer. Sheng Ran thought, Daddy seems to love him very much, he probably wouldn't want to kill him. He thought for a moment and said, "Let me go first." The coach smiled faintly and prepared his defense. "Okay, young master, please." Sheng Ran took a deep breath, clenched his fist and hit him. After receiving a few moves from Sheng Ran, the coach became anxious. "Young master, what's wrong with you? Try harder. Why are you getting worse at this?" He was stunned. If Master Mu Jiuye knew that the young master had only been abroad for a few days and had completely forgotten everything he taught him, wouldn't he be in great trouble? After hearing what the coach said, Sheng Ran also got angry and gathered all her strength to punch and kick the coach. The coach kept yelling at him to use more strength. Sheng Ran was exhausted and couldn't help panting. "Are you okay? I'm just a 5-year-old kid. This is the best I can do." "Young master, stop joking. How can this be your greatest strength? Your fighting skills were clearly very proficient last month. How come you have forgotten everything?" The coach looked even more confused and anxious than Sheng Ran. "How about this? Let me hit you instead and see how your defensive skills are practiced." Sheng Ran turned her head and said, "You're not really going to hit me, are you?" Soon, he got the confirmation that the coach was really hitting him. Although he didn't use the full strength of an adult, he hit Sheng Ran's sore spots everywhere, and he grimaced in pain. "No more fighting, no more fighting. I don't want to play anymore." "Coach, no, young master, Master Jiuye also said that you have to practice more today. This Saturday is when Master Jiuye will check your martial arts homework. You can't let down your guard at this time." Sheng Ran tried to argue, "Then you should also let me rest for a while. I'm just a child with limited physical strength. If I keep practicing like this, I'll hurt my muscles." The coach looked skeptical. "How is that possible? This is just a warm-up fight. I know your strength. Don't worry, I won't hurt your bones." No matter how Sheng Ran explained, he still practiced honestly for an hour and a half on the training ground. When it was over, the coach and Sheng Ran both had expressions of doubt about their lives. "Impossible, this is absolutely impossible. How could the young master regress to this extent?" The coach looked desperate. When the coach reported Sheng Ran's training progress today to Mu Jiuye, he was trembling. "Master Jiuye, I will definitely give the young master more training according to the schedule I gave you before." Mu Jiuye tapped his fingers on the plan. "If that's the case, how come we have regressed so much? I don't know about this either." The coach quickly took out the video of the previous training. Look, the young master had already reached the stage of strength training before, and he had also made some progress in fighting skills. It was definitely not like what happened just now. Mu Jiuye took a look and said to the housekeeper, "Call Mu Jiuye over." Sheng Ran was lying on the bed with no desire to live, and told Mu Jiuye everything that had just happened. "Is this really the life a 5-year-old child should live? Are you sure this is how you grew up?" Mu Jiuye, who habitually woke up early due to his biological clock, lay quietly beside Sheng Ran. After seeing the message, he quickly replied, "Yes, I grew up like this." Chapter 8: Challenging the Rules. Sheng Ran complained, "Your life is not the life a normal child should have." Mu Jiuye was also very dissatisfied. He had been living like this since he was a child. What was abnormal about it? He replied, "So what kind of life should a normal child have?" Sheng Ran talked about her life. A normal child should sleep until he wakes up naturally, then eat his favorite breakfast, go to college, play some computer games. And he will also have endless snacks and a bunch of toys. Mu Jiuye, "But Daddy said that I am the heir of the Mu family. If I want to have the power and status that others don't have, I should abandon those desires that waste time." Sheng Ran, "Nonsense. How can being happy be considered a waste of time? If people can't be happy, then what's the point of having all those rights and status? Mu Jiuye, I will have these things when I grow up. Sheng Ran analyzed with Mu Jiuye seriously. You were so unhappy when you were a child, so how can you be happy when you grow up? I see that none of the adults who work are happy, which means that everyone was happier when they were children. Mu Jiuye, you are wrong. They are just ordinary people. I am the heir of the Mu family. When I grow up, I will inherit the Mu family like my father. I can get everything I want. If anyone makes me unhappy, I will make them disappear. How can I be unhappy? Sheng Ran, humph. Then you still don't have a mommy. You are so powerful, if it weren't for me you wouldn't even know who your mommy is. You are still lying next to your mommy now, right? Mu Jiuye, no, I just haven't started looking yet. Sheng Ran was about to say something when the housekeeper knocked on the door. Young master, Master Ju wants you to go to the study. Okay. Sheng Ran put on her shoes and ran out. Daddy. Sheng Ran ran to the study happily. Walk, don't run. Oh. Sheng Ran walked over. Mu Jiuye tapped his fingers on the desk twice. What's going on with your training? What's wrong with me? Sheng Ran looked confused. He was very serious during training. Okay. Compared to last week, you've regressed a lot. What's the reason? Mu Jiuye handed the training schedule to Sheng Ran. Mu Jiuye's physical training schedule last week. Strength training, 80 points. Fighting course, 80 points. Mu Jiuye's physical training schedule last week. Strength training, 30 points. Fighting course, 15 minutes. Is Mu Jiuye such a pervert? After reading the table, Sheng Ran had a look of doubt on his face. He was almost dying of exhaustion, but he only got 30 and 15 points? Speak. Seeing Sheng Ran's dazed expression, Mu Jiuye couldn't help but frown. Sheng Ran came back to his senses and tried to reason. Daddy, I'm just a child, is it necessary to do this? Mu Jiuye, if you want to become the heir of the Mu family, these are the basic things you need to learn. But I'm the heir of the Mu family. Do I still have to go fight in person? Can't I just pay a few bodyguards to protect me? Sheng Ran was very unconvinced. He was still young, why should he learn these things? Mu Jiuye looked at the little guy and said calmly, you have no power to protect yourself. If something unexpected happens, how do you plan to escape? Sheng Ran, isn't this a question that the bodyguards who protect me should think about? I paid them to protect me, so can't they protect me? You are just quibbling. Mu Jiuye's tone was already somewhat dissatisfied. Starting tomorrow, practice 2 more hours until you catch up on your lessons. When Sheng Ran heard that she had to practice more, she immediately became anxious. Daddy, I don't get enough sleep to begin with, will I still grow taller if I practice more? Don't you know that you will become stupid if you don't sleep well? Mu Jiuye looked at the unconvinced little guy and raised his eyebrows. Then what do you want to do? I want to change the rules you set, Daddy. I'm still young. Sheng Ran said confidently. He was only 5 years old, why should he learn things that were obviously learned by adults? When the housekeeper heard the young master talking to Master Ju like this, cold sweat broke out on his back. What happened to the young master all of a sudden? How could such a big change happen after a trip abroad? Mu Jiuye narrowed his eyes slightly, his deep eyes carrying an emotion that was difficult to guess. Why do you think you can challenge my rules? Then I'll prove to Daddy that I have my strengths. There's no need for me to learn fighting. Sheng Ran said confidently. Mu Jiuye glanced at his son twice, and happened to meet the little guy's stubborn eyes. Mu Jiuye then realized that the little guy seemed to have changed a lot compared to before. He is much more lively and talks more than before. Thinking of what the psychiatrist had said to him, Mu Jiuye nodded. Okay, I'll give you 2 days. If you can't show your ability, you have to follow my rules. Sheng Ran, okay. Uncle Lee, you go down first. Mu Jiuye said to the housekeeper. The butler nodded, turned and left, and as he left, he used his eyes to remind Sheng Ran not to confront Master Ju. Sheng Ran pretended not to see it. Uncle Lee said that you took away the contract sent by Xing Yao. Mu Jiuye asked indifferently. Well, I want to see what this bad woman is going to take advantage of. Sheng Ran said frankly and informed Mu Jiuye. He knew that Mu Jiuye didn't have a good impression of Xing Yao, so he didn't hide his dislike for Xing Yao. Mu Jiuye hummed, don't like Xing Yao. I don't like it. Daddy, you never told me about mommy, but you are so nice to this woman. I don't understand. Sheng Ran said. Mu Yanting, what do you want to know? The little guy refused to hand over the contract, but Mu Yanting didn't care. He supported the Sheng family because of Sheng Ran. Since the little guy was unhappy, it was okay for him not to support them. Sheng Ran's eyes lit up. Daddy is willing to talk to him about mommy? I want to know mommy's identity and her name. Why are there never any photos of mommy at home? This was also Sheng Ran's question. Even if daddy misunderstood that mommy was dead, why didn't he see anything related to mommy at home? Doesn't he daddy miss mommy at all? Your mother's name is Sheng Ran. If you want to know her photo and information, just find it yourself. When Mu Yanting said Sheng Ran's name, complex emotions flashed in his deep eyes. Why should I find it myself? Daddy, can't you just tell me directly? When Sheng Ran heard mommy's name, he knew that he was right. He and Mu Yanting were twins. Mu Yanting looked at Sheng Ran with a half smile. Don't you want to show off your ability? If you can't find even this little bit, don't even think about challenging my rules. Sheng Ran pouted. I will investigate, just wait and see. I will open your eyes. After saying that, he ran away angrily. Daddy was so annoying. He had to teach Daddy a lesson. Mu Yanting looked at his son's angry appearance, and a faint smile appeared in his usually cold eyes. Chapter 9. Something is wrong. After Sheng Ran returned to the room, she angrily took out the laptop from the suitcase. Humph, he must teach his daddy who looked down on him a lesson. Sheng Ran's 10 fingers quickly fell on the keyboard, and dense codes flashed on the notebook. Mosa Group. The programmer who came to work early in the morning was still sleepwalking. As soon as he turned on the computer, he was startled by the staff who came in a hurry. Something happened. The group's internet was attacked and is now completely paralyzed. What? Someone actually managed to break through my firewall. The programmer wiped his face and said confidently, it must be a hacker who found a loophole in my firewall while I was away. Give me 10 minutes and I'll fix it right away. Half an hour later, the programmer's forehead was covered with cold sweat. Damn, who is this hacker? He tried to patch the firewall, but was attacked back by the other party. Not only that, the computers in front of the programmer were also paralyzed. My computer is also not working. What's going on? There are garbled characters when I turn on the computer. Can the programmer fix it? Now is the time when a lot of people need to work, and seeing that the computers cannot be used, people in the company started complaining one after another. Didn't you say you could get it done in 10 minutes? It's already been half an hour, can you still get it done? The staff member looked at the time on his watch and felt very anxious. Jiuye would come to the company in 10 minutes. If Jiuye knew that their work was not done well enough and the network was paralyzed by hackers, their year-end bonus would definitely be lost. Don't rush me, this hacker is obviously a veteran, probably a technician in his 40s. I'm not bold yet, give me some time. The programmer was actually very panicked, but he was too embarrassed to admit that he was not capable of it. I have just boasted about myself. It would be too embarrassing to admit that I am not good enough now. So he gritted his teeth and held on for another 10 minutes, but the computer still didn't respond. The opponent's methods were strange and unpredictable. Every time the programmer thought he was going to catch the opponent just tricked him and ran away again. Even as he was operating, a string of words flashed across his computer. Stop struggling, you can't beat me. Call your president Mu here and ask him to apologize to me and I will let you go. Oh my god, are you ever going to stop? Others stepped on your face and you didn't fight back. How could Master Jiu apologize to him? I also want to fight back, do you think I can win? The programmer was no longer struggling at this point. His computer had been messed up like this, and he didn't even know where to start his argument. He can't say that he doesn't fight back because he likes looking at the black screen of the computer, right? It's over, it's over. Master Jiu is coming. Get ready to be scolded. The staff member looked at his watch, which was already 9 o'clock, and despair appeared in his eyes. His year-end bonus was gone. Mu Yanting arrived at the company on time and saw that everyone in the secretarial department had a worried look on their faces. He looked at the secretary Chen Zhong and asked, "What's going on?" Chen Zhong wiped the sweat from his forehead and said, "Master Jiu, someone has attacked the company's network, and now all the computers in the company are paralyzed." Mu Yanting frowned. What did the technical department say? The technical department couldn't defeat the other party. The other party also hacked into the technical department's computer and specifically asked for Master Jiu. You have to apologize. When Chen Zhang said the last sentence, his back was already covered in cold sweat. He was really unlucky today. He ran into a hacker who was looking for death just after he came to work. Mu Yanting didn't say much, took out his own laptop and connected to the company network. Just a second later, his computer was hacked and Mu Yanting quickly fought back. Sheng Ran on the other end snorted, and within a few minutes she cracked Mu Yanting's trick and directly hacked into Mu Yanting's computer. It turned out to be Daddy's computer. Sheng Ran gave a wicked smile and quickly typed a few words. Daddy, you lose. Grimace emoticon pack. Chen Zhang looked at the words displayed on the notebook and was stunned. Did the young master do it? He was extremely shocked. When did the young master acquire such advanced hacking skills that he could even defeat Master Jiu? Although he was surprised, Chen Zhang felt relieved. Since it was just a prank by the young master, things would be much simpler. Looking at Mu Yanting's face, which was unclear whether he was happy or angry, Chen Zhang became uneasy again. Is Master Jiu happy or unhappy? Mu Yanting looked at the words on the computer, raised his eyebrows, and quickly typed out a string of codes. R. Damn it. Sheng Ran looked at the black screen of the computer and fought back angrily, trying to take back control of her laptop. I wasn't paying attention for a moment and my dad hacked into my computer. Mu Yanting had only glanced at the contents on Sheng Ran's computer. When he saw the folder named Mommy, a hint of doubt flashed in his eyes. You go out first. Mu Yanting said to Chen Zhang. Yes, Master Jiu, how do we deal with the computer issue? Chen Zhang asked nervously. There are so many computers in the company and none of them can be used. How long does the young master plan to stop playing with them? Let them do something else first. Mu Yanting ordered lightly. Chen Zhang nodded and went out. Mu Yanting opened the folder, and hundreds of photos of Sheng Ran quickly appeared in front of him, and Mu Yanting's pupils suddenly shrank. It records fragments of Sheng Ran's life, the smile in her eyes, the messy look when cooking, the scene of her concentrating on her work with a notebook. It was so vivid, and it was a look of Sheng Ran that Mu Yanting had never seen before. In a trance, Mu Yanting even had the illusion that Sheng Ran was not dead yet, and was living well in another place. Mu Yanting flipped through several photos in a row. The scene changed and Sheng Ran was holding a baby in the photo. Just as Mu Yanting was about to see it clearly, the computer suddenly went dark. Sheng Ran had already taken control of the computer. Mu Yanting already had many doubts in his heart at this time. Mu Jiuye had never seen Sheng Ran, so how could there be so many photos of Sheng Ran? He has always been a person who must solve problems when they arise, so he immediately took out his mobile phone and called Mu Jiuye. Mu Jiuye was doing strength training in the living room at this time. When he saw the call from his daddy, he was stunned. Why would his daddy call him suddenly? Mu Jiuye's mind was working rapidly. He didn't answer the phone first, but sent a message to Sheng Ran. Daddy, why did you call me suddenly? Did you do something? Sheng Ran was still happy that he had regained control of the computer. When he saw the message sent by Mu Jiuye, he happily told Mu Jiuye about the matter. I made a bet with Daddy, so that he could see my strengths. I hacked into Daddy's company's computer, and now all the computers in his company are paralyzed. After seeing the message, Mu Jiuye didn't bother to reply and quickly answered his father's call. Chapter 10 Almost Exposed. Mu Jiuye, what's the matter with the photos in your computer? Mu Yanting's tone was calm with his usual severity. Mu Jiuye was calm and said, Dad, I have a lot of photos on my computer. Which photo are you talking about? After that, he quickly sent a message to Sheng Ran. Daddy, why did you suddenly ask me about the photo? A photo of your mother. Mu Yanting said. That's a photo I found on the internet when I was missing my mommy. Mu Jiuye said, typing for Sheng Ran quickly. Mu Yanting couldn't help but frown when he heard this. He had blocked all the information related to Sheng Ran back then. Where did the little guy find the photo? In his own territory, Mu Yanting has always been a man of his word, and he immediately asked about his doubts. Mu Jiuye, I forgot, there is so much information on the internet, maybe Daddy found the photos for me that you didn't miss. Mu Yanting nodded calmly. In that case, send me a copy of those photos. Mu Jiuye felt guilty, but his tone was still steady. Okay, Daddy, I'll send it to you later. You performed well this time. You can stop taking other classes. Come to work tomorrow. You can spend less time in the martial arts field, but you can't stop. Mu Yanting is not a conservative person. The little guy's talent is beyond his expectations. In this case, there is no need to follow the routine and read those books. Reading is not as good as practice. But martial arts must not be neglected. The heir of the Mu family must be able to protect himself. Mu Yanting was surprised that his daddy had changed. This was not like the daddy he knew. He thought of Sheng Ran's wailing when she mentioned martial arts, and tentatively said, "Daddy, can we not learn martial arts for the time being?" No. Mu Yanting's tone did not allow for argument. Mu Jiuye had already gotten used to this kind of life, but after hearing Sheng Ran's complaints, he had his own ideas. "Daddy, I'm still young, why do I have to learn martial arts? Can't I learn it when I grow up? As the heir of the Mu family, you don't have the life that a normal child has." Mu Yanting's tone was calm but cruel. Without the ability to protect yourself, no matter how much money you have, you are just a fish on the chopping board. Having climbed to this position, the only person you can trust the most is yourself. There was one more thing Mu Yanting didn't say. Without the ability to protect himself, he would not be able to protect the people he wanted to protect. Mu Yanting had suffered this pain before, and he didn't want to repeat the same mistake on his son. The expectation in Mu Jiuye's eyes dimmed after hearing these words. "I know, Dad." Since this is the case, he can only exchange it with Sheng Ran. This is his responsibility and he can't let Sheng Ran bear it. He is her brother. "Baby, it's only 8 o'clock, what are you doing?" The door was suddenly opened, and Sheng Ran walked out rubbing his eyes. Mu Jiuye was startled and quickly hung up the phone. Mommy. Sheng Ran squatted down and touched the little guy's head. "Why are you like a frightened rabbit? Who are you talking to on the phone?" Sheng Ran's tone was very gentle, and because she was not fully awake, there was still a bit of confusion in her eyes, but her hands were very warm, and Mu Jiuye felt his head become warm. "Mommy." He couldn't help but hugged his mommy. "What's wrong?" Sheng Ran picked him up after noticing the little guy's unusual mood. "Are you not used to it after returning home? Tell mommy if you feel uncomfortable." As the heir of the Mu family, Mu Jiuye was taught from a young age to be independent and strong, and not to show his emotions. He has long been accustomed to hiding his emotions. Hearing what mommy said, Mu Jiuye just shook his head. "I'm fine. Baby, you don't look like you're alright." Sheng Ran looked at his son who suddenly stopped talking, and felt very strange. When did the little guy become so introverted? Could it be that he just returned to China and couldn't adapt to the unfamiliar environment? Thinking of this, Sheng Ran couldn't help but speak more gently. "Be good, don't keep anything in your heart, tell mommy, okay?" Mu Jiuye's nose felt sore. Is this what it feels like to have a mommy? He suddenly didn't want to switch back with Sheng Ran. Mu Jiuye leaned in Sheng Ran's arms and sniffed. "No, I just had a nightmare. I dreamed that my mommy was gone and I had to grow up alone, so I was a little sad." Sheng Ran didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It turned out that he was having a nightmare. "Be good, mommy will not leave you. Mommy will always be with you until you grow up." Sheng Ran rubbed her son's head, but when she heard the little guy's words, Sheng Ran couldn't help but think of another child who was taken away by Sheng Yao. I don't know whether the little guy has been happy in the Mu family during these 5 years. This time when he returned to China, in addition to revenge, Sheng Ran's other purpose was to bring the little guy to his side. Sheng Ran thought of the reply email in his mailbox and already had an idea in his mind. "Baby, sit for a while. Mommy will make breakfast for you," Sheng Ran said after comforting the little guy for a while. On the other side, Sheng Ran had just brought back the food she had stolen from the kitchen when she saw a series of messages from Mu Jiuye on her phone. "Mu Jiuye, what's going on? How did Daddy know that you have Mommy's photo on your computer? Daddy called me and asked me. Daddy wants you to send him the photo of Mommy in that folder. I fought for you. Dad said that the classes can be suspended for a while, and the time spent in the martial arts field can be reduced but not stopped. If you can't hold on, I can switch back with you." Sheng Ran was not convinced when he saw the latter sentence. If he really changed it back, wouldn't it mean that he couldn't compare to Mu Jiuye? He was the elder brother, how could he be inferior to his younger brother? Without even thinking, he replied, "No need to change it back, I can do it." Mu Jiuye was very happy to see Sheng Ran didn't want to change, but he still replied, "Are you sure you can hold on? If you can't hold on, we can change back. I can do it. Sheng Ran, I am your brother, if you can do it, I can do it too. Mu Jiuye was not convinced. We are twins, who said you are the older brother? Maybe I am the older brother. Sheng Ran, I hacked into daddy's company's computer. Are you as good as me? Mu Jiuye, I also have a master's degree certificate from TEFR. I also won 2 children's fighting championships. Mu Yanting arranged courses for him at a very young age. Because of his high talent, he obtained a degree certificate after completing university courses. Sheng Ran. He widened his dark eyes. Mu Jiuye actually had a master's degree certificate. Sheng Ran, okay, then let us wait until we recognize mommy and let her tell us who the older brother is. Mommy will definitely know who was born first. Mu Jiuye was also satisfied. Good. The 2 little guys reached a consensus at the same time. They must help daddy and mommy recognize each other as soon as possible and determine who is the older brother. Chapter 11. Go to Mu Group. Mu Jiuye, don't forget, daddy asked you to send him a photo of mommy. Sheng Ran had prepared breakfast by then. She brought out a simple sandwich and said, Sheng Ran, bring 2 bottles of milk for breakfast. Okay, mommy. Mu Jiuye brought over 2 bottles of milk. Try it and see if you like it. Sheng Ran said, taking another sandwich and taking a bite. Mu Jiuye looked a little embarrassed. Mommy, no need, I've already had breakfast, which was sent by the hotel. I've eaten. When did you eat? Sheng Ran was a little surprised. 5 o'clock. Mu Jiuye said. 5 o'clock. Sheng Ran thought he had misheard. Baby, why are you getting up so early? Mu Jiuye, I read a book and exercised a bit. Although this is not the Mu family, Mu Jiuye has long developed that kind of schedule and he is used to doing things according to the schedule. Sheng Ran looked pleased that the little guy could actually read books. That was good. If you've eaten, put it in the refrigerator. Mommy has an interview today and won't be home at noon. If you want to eat anything, just call the front desk. Sheng Ran said. Mu Jiuye was a little curious. Mommy, where are you going? Mommy has an interview with the Mu Group and won't be back until the evening, Sheng Ran said. Mu Group? Mu Jiuye's eyes widened. Mommy is going to look for daddy? Great. He was very happy. Mommy, can I go to the interview with you? No, baby, just wait for me here. Sheng Ran refused. Sheng Ran looked too much like Mu Yanting, and she didn't want anyone from the Mu Group to see Sheng Ran. Mu Jiuye was a little disappointed in his heart, but he still nodded. Okay, by mommy, I will be obedient. So good. Sheng Ran rubbed the little guy's head, drank some milk, took out her cosmetics and started to put on makeup. After a while, the beautiful face in the mirror changed its appearance. Although it was still very beautiful, it was not as beautiful as Sheng Ran without makeup. Mu Jiuye was shocked when he saw this. Mommy, why did you become like this? Sheng Ran was very satisfied. This was exactly the effect she wanted. Mommy doesn't want others to recognize me, which is good. Sheng Ran explained to her son with a smile, then turned and left. As soon as Sheng Ran left, Mu Jiuye sent a message to Sheng Ran. Mommy is going to interview at the Mu Group. Sheng Ran replied quickly, great. We can use this opportunity to let daddy and mommy meet. I just sent mommy's photo to daddy, and daddy will definitely recognize mommy. Mu Jiuye, I don't think so. Mommy just put on makeup and I almost didn't recognize her, let alone daddy. Sheng Ran looked puzzled. Why does mommy need to wear makeup? Mommy said that she doesn't want others to recognize her. Do you think mommy doesn't plan to recognize daddy? That must be the case. No, follow mommy out and find a way to remove mommy's makeup. Sheng Ran gave a bad idea. Mu Jiuye, no, mommy won't let me go out. Sheng Ran, what are you afraid of? Just sneak out. Even if mommy finds out, it won't matter. Mu Jiuye, no, I promised mommy. He was taught to keep his promises since he was a child, and he didn't want to lie to his mother. Sheng Ran, this is a great opportunity, don't you want to recognize your mommy as soon as possible? Mu Jiuye was indeed moved, but he still didn't want to lie to mommy. Don't worry so much, mommy has already gone for the interview. As long as mommy passes the interview, she will work in the Mu Group in the future. Then we can find another opportunity for daddy to meet mommy. Sheng Ran thought so too. Mommy is so smart, she will definitely pass the interview. The two little guys reached a consensus again, but Sheng Ran couldn't help but complain, Mu Jiuye, do you know that you are like a little old man? Mu Jiuye, it's not bad, it's better than being like a little brat. Sheng Ran collapsed with anger. On the other side, Sheng Ran arrived at the Mu group on time. Secretary Chen Zhang smiled and poured her tea. Ms. Eli, I'm glad to see you. Are you getting used to being back home? That's great. I want to start working as soon as possible. Sheng Ran said with a smile. Chen Zhang would love it so much, he was almost going crazy due to lack of people. No problem on my end. I can arrange for you to start work today. However, the group has a rule that the recruitment of personnel in the design department must be reviewed by Master Zhu, so you will have to meet Master Zhu later. When she heard this man's name again, even though she was prepared, a trace of trance flashed in Sheng Ran's eyes. Chen Zhang thought she was nervous, so he smiled and comforted her. Don't worry, I think your ability is enough to get a nod from Master Zhu. After seeing Sheng Ran's drawings, Chen Zhang was extremely eager to recruit talented people. He believed that Mu Jiuye would definitely be satisfied with Sheng Ran's designs. Sheng Ran nodded with a smile, no problem. President's office. Mu Yanting looked through the photos sent by Sheng Ran one by one, but didn't find the one of Sheng Ran holding the child. Mu Yanting couldn't help but frown. Could it be that he had seen it wrong? What he didn't know was that Sheng Ran didn't want her identity to be exposed so quickly, so she processed the photos when she sent them, and deleted all the photos of her holding children. In order to avoid Mu Yanting's suspicion, Sheng Ran also found a few photos on the internet and put them in. Master Zhu. Chen Zhang knocked on the office door. Come in. Mu Yanting closed the computer and said lightly. Master Zhu, I have found the new director of the design department you wanted. She is from abroad and her name is Eli. She is in the reception room now. Do you have time to meet her? Chen Zhang said as he handed over all of Sheng Ran's information. Ms. Sheng, you can't go in here. Secretary Chen is not here and there are guests inside. The assistant said outside the door. Xing Yao, I just came to ask Chen Zhang if Master Zhu had read the contract I sent to the Mu family before. I don't know anything about the contract. Why don't you go to the conference room and wait? I'll ask Secretary Chen to find you when he's done. No, the Sheng family's financing cannot be delayed any longer. I want to see Chen Zhang right away. Xing Yao said forcefully. Sheng Ran heard the familiar voice outside and couldn't help but narrow her eyes. Xing Yao, I didn't expect to see her so soon. Thinking of everything Xing Yao had done to her before, Sheng Ran could hardly suppress the hatred in her heart. Oh, the Sheng family won't last long, right? Otherwise, Xing Yao wouldn't have come to Mu Yanting so anxiously. I won't talk to you anymore. Is Chen Zhang in there? I want to find him. Xing Yao pushed the assistant away and walked in. Who are you? Xing Yao looked at the woman in front of her, doubt flashing in her eyes. Is Chen Zhang really entertaining someone? Who are you and why should I tell you my identity? Sheng Ran glanced at her and took a sip of coffee. The woman in front of her didn't look threatening, but her eyes made Xing Yao feel unspeakably uneasy. Chapter 12 Hot Kiss. The woman looked at her with a half-smile in her eyes, which made Xing Yao unconsciously think of Sheng Ran. Xing Yao immediately felt that the woman in front of her was a threat. How dare you talk to me like that? What's your attitude? Do you know that I'm Mu Yanting's woman? Just because you say so is it? Sheng Ran found it funny. It might be okay for Xing Yao to lie to others, but Mu Yanting had a grudge against the Sheng family, so how could he be with Xing Yao? Seeing that Xing Yao was going to cause trouble for Sheng Ran, the assistant stood in front of her with a helpless look on his face. Ms. Sheng, this is Secretary Chen entertaining the interviewee. Would you like to ask Secretary Chen to wait outside? I will notify you as soon as Secretary Chen comes. The assistant actually looked down on Xing Yao in her heart, saying every day that she was Zhu Yi's woman. It was obvious that Zhu Yi had only met her a few times. Wasn't she so arrogant just because she was the sister of Zhu Yi's ex-wife? Shut up. When did it become your turn to give me orders about what to do in the Mu group? Xing Yao glared at the assistant and pointed at Sheng Ran, saying, I'm waiting for Chen Zhang here. Get this woman out of here. If it was a customer, Xing Yao would not dare to offend him casually. But when she learned that Sheng Ran was just an interviewer, her tone suddenly became arrogant. Ms. Sheng, aren't you making things difficult for me? The assistant said with a bitter face. Do you want to drive me away? Do you believe I will fire you? Since when did you become the one in charge of the Mu group? Came the man's indifferent voice. When Mu Yanting saw Sheng Ran, his eyes darkened. Xing Yao didn't expect Mu Yanting to come over so suddenly. She looked embarrassed. Master Ju, I was just joking. I just felt that this person was not good enough. If she joined the Mu group, she would only cause trouble. So I wanted my assistant to kick her out. It's not your turn to interfere in the affairs of the Mu group. Mu Yanting said in a cold tone, Chen Zhang, don't let irrelevant people in from now on. When she saw Mu Yanting again, Sheng Ran felt many complicated emotions in her heart. The man was still very handsome, wearing a well-tailored suit, and his eyes looked indifferent and cold. Xing Yao looked at Mu Yanting pleadingly, Mr. Mu. The Xing family can't hold on any longer. Can you take a look at the contract? Just for Yu Mo's sake. If my sister were still alive, she wouldn't want to see the company her mother founded go bankrupt, right? Mu Yanting paused and said, make a financial report and send it to Chen Zhang. Xing Yao smiled immediately, thank you, brother Yang Ting. I'll do it right away. Sheng Ran was stunned and his heart skipped a beat. Mu Yanting actually funded the Xing family because of her? Why? At this time, Mu Yanting's eyes also swept over. Almost instinctively, Sheng Ran wanted to step back. When she took a step back, she suddenly remembered her current identity. She suppressed her emotions and greeted Mu Yanting, Mr. Mu, hello. Chen Zhang smiled and introduced, Master Ju, this is the designer who just returned to China that I told you about, Eli. Mu Yanting stared at Sheng Ran with his dark eyes, pursed his thin lips, and said nothing, making it impossible to tell whether he was happy or angry. Because of his silence, the atmosphere suddenly became tense. Chen Zhang broke out in a cold sweat on his back, not understanding what was going on with Master Ju again. Sheng Ran was very nervous. She thought there should be no problem with her makeup, but Mu Yanting stared at her like that, making her feel a little nervous. Sheng Ran looked at him for a few seconds and then looked away. Although they had not seen each other for 5 years, Sheng Ran was still not used to looking into those cold and arrogant eyes for too long. Mu Yanting's eyes were the most arrogant and indifferent eyes she had ever seen. They were deep, almond-shaped eyes, noble and cold. When he stared at people, he was intimidating without being angry. He always liked to purse his lips, revealing this look that was difficult to tell whether he was happy or angry. 5 years ago, Sheng Ran was the only person who could understand his emotions, but after 5 years, the emotions on a man's face were even harder to read, and no one knew what he was thinking. Mu Yanting stared at Sheng Ran in silence for several minutes before looking away. Come to my office and talk. After saying that, he left first. Sheng Ran breathed a sigh of relief. Judging from Mu Yanting's expression just now, he probably didn't notice anything. She walked forward, but found that Chen Zhang did not go to the elevator with her. She turned back and said, Secretary Chen, aren't you coming with us? Chen Zhang smiled and waved his hand. No, Master Ju only told you to go, so I won't go. Every time Mu Yanting had this expression, it was the prelude to a coming storm. Although Chen Zhang didn't know what Mu Yanting was doing just now, he instinctively didn't want to join in the fun. Sheng Ran didn't want to face Mu Yanting alone, so she said shamelessly, why don't we go together? President Mu looks too majestic, and I'm scared to be alone. Chen Zhang, you're kidding. Jiuye is usually easy to get along with. As long as you do your job well, Jiuye will not make things difficult for his subordinates. Overtime is usually double the overtime pay, so you don't have to worry. Besides, salary and benefits are personal privacy, so it's not appropriate for me to go over there, right? Chen Zhang practiced Tai Chi and refused to go up with Sheng Ran. Sheng Ran had no choice but to take the elevator up by herself. It was the familiar office of Mu Yanting, except that there was no one standing at the reception desk at the door. Sheng Ran couldn't help but feel a little strange in his heart, so he had to go and knock on the door himself. Mr. Mu, I'm coming. The next second, the electronic door opened automatically. The office was probably dark because the curtains were drawn. As Sheng Ran walked in, he was suddenly pulled by a pair of large hands and fell into a cold and hard embrace. Sheng Ran was startled. Mu. Before she could finish her words, the door slammed shut, and the man sealed her lips with a hot kiss so fierce and brutal that he almost tore her apart. Sheng Ran tried to struggle, but the strength gap between men and women was too great. While she was struggling, the man kissed her even more deeply. Her hands and feet were restrained by the man and pressed against the wall. She was forced to raise her head and let the man do whatever he wanted. Just when the man was about to take the next step, Sheng Ran became ruthless and bit the man's tongue. Mu Yanting groaned, and Sheng Ran finally found the opportunity to break free. Bang! Sheng Ran slapped Mu Yanting's face hard, breathing rapidly. "Mr. Mu, I'm here for a job interview. If you can't hold it anymore, please go find someone else." "Sheng Ran, since you are not dead, why don't you want to see me?" The man pinched her hand, almost gritting his teeth, his tone fierce and cruel. Sheng Ran froze in place, and the blood in her body seemed to have solidified, only her heart was beating violently, burning her chest and making it hot and painful. At this time, Mu Yanting turned on the light, and Sheng Ran subconsciously turned around and wanted to escape, just like a vampire encountering light. "If you want to leave, then you don't have to see Mu Jiuye anymore." The man's eyes were filled with deep depression, and his tone was crazy and cruel. Sheng Ran paused. She knew that Mu Yanting could definitely do it. Mu Yanting curled his lips slightly, and looked at Sheng Ran with a smile in his scarlet eyes. "It turns out that Ran still has feelings, but these feelings are not for me." Chapter 13 Little Green Dragon King. Sheng Ran was stunned, and when he spoke again, his tone was bitter. "Mu Yanting, didn't you say that you never wanted to see me again?" "Mu Yanting, is it not okay for me to take it back now?" Sheng Ran. I was originally caught off guard by Mu Yanting's attitude, and my mood became even more complicated. "How did you recognize me?" Sheng Ran asked. She thought she disguised herself well. "Your appearance has long been engraved in my heart. Even if you are ground into dust, I will still recognize you." Mu Yanting looked straight at her, with a strong paranoia hidden in his deep eyes. If Chen Zhong was there, he would have discovered that Mu Yanting had already fallen ill. Sheng Ran didn't know about Mu Yanting's condition, and she felt strange when she heard this. What did she mean by "crush her bones and scatter her ashes"? Is there anyone who describes a person like this? "Since you are planning to come to the Mu group, why do you want to change your appearance?" Mu Yanting asked Sheng Ran. The moment he saw the photo on the resume, Mu Yanting recognized Eli as Sheng Ran. He would never forget those eyes. Sheng Ran's eyes were complicated, "Because I only want to see Mu Jiuye, and I don't want to have anything to do with you anymore." Hearing Sheng Ran was so eager to cut off ties with him, the scarlet color in Mu Yanting's eyes turned redder. "Then you are destined to be disappointed. Without my permission, you can't see Mu Jiuye." Sheng Ran took a deep breath. "Mu Yanting, I'm not here to quarrel with you. Mu Jiuye is my son and I have the right to see him. If you refuse, I will use legal means to protect my rights." Mu Yanting chuckled. "Are you sure you want to sue the legal department of my Mu group in this piece of imperial capital?" Sheng Ran narrowed her eyes and suddenly realized that the Mu group was the largest multinational company in the city, with millions of employees and almost invincible in local lawsuits. If she sued Mu Yanting, she would really not get anything good. Seeing her lost in thought, Mu Yanting added coldly, "The future heir of the Mu family will never go for a paternity test with you." "Sheng Ran, what qualifications do you have to sue me?" Sheng Ran was silenced for a moment. She thought about it and really didn't know what to do with Mu Yanting. Now that her identity had been exposed and she couldn't find any opportunity to get close to her son, Sheng Ran no longer wanted to stay in the Mu group. When preparing to leave, Sheng Ran thought of what Xing Yao and Mu Yanting had said before, and said calmly, "You and I were both wrong about what happened back then. I will talk to you about Mu Jiuye later, but there is one thing I want to tell you. Xing Yao and I don't have a good relationship." Sheng Ran still explained this to Mu Yanting. Mu Yanting's previous attitude towards Xing Yao was obviously related to her. Sheng Ran couldn't figure out what Mu Yanting's attitude towards her was now, but she wanted to clean up the Sheng family and must not let Mu Yanting invest in the Sheng family. "Okay, I won't interfere." Mu Yanting agreed immediately. "You move back to the Mu family." "Absolutely not." Sheng Ran refused without even thinking about it. Mu Yanting narrowed his eyes. "Don't speak too early. I suggest you take a look at Mu Jiuye's current situation before you speak." Sheng Ran's attention was indeed diverted. What happened to Mu Jiuye? She had been looking for news about Mu Jiuye over the years, but the Mu family blocked the news so strictly that she had no chance to find out any information about Mu Jiuye. Seeing that she really cared more about her son than herself, Mu Yanting became even more angry. He sneered, "If you want to know what happened to your son, why don't you go and see for yourself?" At this time, the doorbell of the office rang. Mu Yang's violent aura became even stronger. He opened the door and asked impatiently, "What's the matter?" Chen Zhang was startled, especially when he saw Mu Yanting's current condition. Cold sweat fell from his forehead. Jiuye, the partner from country H wants to invite you to dinner. Have you taken the medicine?" Mu Yanting looked like he was sick. Chen Zhang was terrified, fearing that Mu Yanting would scare away the person he had just hired if he was unhappy. "Take medicine." Sheng Ran was stunned when he heard Chen Zhang's words. Why would Mu Yanting take medicine? "Get out." Mu Yanting pinched the door, and the veins on his arms bulged. "It's Master Zhu." Chen Zhang was so scared that he didn't dare to say the rest. He just wanted to leave immediately. When he went out, he saw Sheng Ran still standing there in a daze. He quickly pulled Sheng Ran out and closed the door. Mu Yanting watched Sheng Ran leave suddenly and could no longer suppress the violent emotions in his heart. The door handle could not withstand Mu Yanting's strength and broke with a click. The stinging pain in his hand brought Mu Yanting back to his senses. He turned off the lights in the president's office and returned to his desk in the dark. Opening the drawer, Mu Yanting poured more than a dozen pills into his hands and swallowed them directly. Mu Yanting clenched his fists, and the manic emotion in his eyes became even stronger. After more than 10 seconds, Mu Yanting suppressed his emotions with his willpower and returned to his cold and indifferent appearance like an iceberg. He rubbed the photo on Sheng Ran's resume and muttered to himself, Ran, you deliberately hid your appearance to come to Mu Group. Do you hate me so much?" Mu Yanting recalled what Sheng Ran said and laughed. A hint of madness flashed across his narrow and long phoenix eyes. "Don't you want to have anything to do with me anymore?" "Huh?" Chen Zhang breathed a sigh of relief after taking Sheng Ran back to his office. Chen Zhang looked at Sheng Ran. "Are you okay?" Sheng Ran shook her head, still thinking about what Chen Zhang had just said about Mu Yanting taking medicine. "I'm glad you're okay. President Mu is usually very gentle. This was just an accident. Don't be afraid." In order to avoid having to hold a position in the design department in the future, Chen Zhang said this against his conscience. "Mu Group welcomes you, Sheng Ran." Even 5 years ago, Mu Yanting's personality was far from gentle, so Chen Zhang might have said nonsense just to get her to take up the position. If it was before Mu Yanting recognized her, Sheng Ran would have agreed to the position without hesitation, but now, she hesitated. "Mr. Mu didn't say just now that I passed the interview, so let's wait a little longer," Sheng Ran said. Chen Zhang was actually very puzzled as to what Sheng Ran and Jiuye talked about, and why Jiuye suddenly fell ill. "Well, Eli, did you know Master Zhu before?" Chen Zhang asked tentatively. Mu Yanting's performance when he saw Sheng Ran was really too different from usual. Sheng Ran lowered his eyes. "I don't know him." This time she returned to China only for revenge and to take her son away. She didn't want to have any emotional entanglement with Mu Yanting anymore, and she didn't want others to know about her past with Mu Yanting. Chen Zhang sighed. "Well, actually I..." Before he could finish his words, the landline suddenly rang, and Chen Zhang had to go over to answer the phone. "Hello, this is Master Zhu. You said." "Okay, I understand. Don't worry, I will make sure it's arranged." After hanging up the phone, Chen Zhang smiled and congratulated Sheng Ran. "Congratulations, Master Zhu said that you have passed the interview. You can sign the contract now and report to work at the Mu Group tomorrow." Chapter 14 is crazy. Sheng Ran pursed her lips. "Sorry, I don't think I'm suitable for this job." Chen Zhang was stunned. "Can I ask why?" "It's my own fault. I thought about it and felt that I'm not suitable for this job," Sheng Ran said. She was in a complicated mood and was not sure whether to come here. Chen Zhang looked embarrassed. "Ms. Eli, are you dissatisfied with your salary? If you are dissatisfied with anything, you can communicate with me. We are really short of people. If possible, I still hope you can come to work at M. Moser Group. How about this, you go back and think about it for a few days and then give me an answer," Chen Zhang said sincerely. Just now, Chen Zhang received a call from Mu Yanting saying that he must keep Sheng Ran here to work no matter what. Sheng Ran hesitated for a moment and then nodded. "Okay, I'll go back and think about it." Chen Zhang breathed a sigh of relief. "Thank you so much. If you have any other ideas, please contact me and I will solve them for you as soon as possible. The design department is really short of people." After watching Sheng Ran leave, Chen Zhang went up to report to Mu Yanting. "Master Zhu, Miss Eli agreed to consider it for a few days and then give me an answer." Mu Yanting, well, let Song Shisha give Mu Yu more psychological counseling today. Yes. Chen Zhong nodded in agreement. At this moment, his cell phone suddenly vibrated. It was a file sent by Xing Yao. Chen Zhong paused and said, Mr. Mu, Xing Yao sent the financial report of Xingsha Group, as well as the financing contract. Mu Yanting, don't tell me this again. Chen Zhong was a little slow to react. What do you mean? The cooperation with Xingsha Group has been terminated. Mu Yanting said lightly. He had continued to provide financial support because of Sheng Ran. Now that Sheng Ran has said that he has a bad relationship with Xing Yao, there is no need for him to continue providing financial support. Okay, I'll do it right away. Chen Zhong showed a happy expression. He hoped that Jiuye would not fund Xingsha Group. Under Xing Yao's leadership, Xingsha Group was on the verge of bankruptcy several times. This woman has no idea how to run a company. Investing money in Xing Yao is like throwing money into the water. Mu family. Hey, you're just a support, can you please not steal the minion line? Sheng Anan was lying on the bed, turning on the microphone to teach Mu Yumor, who was on the other end of the phone, how to play games. Mu Yumor sat in a chair with a serious face. It was his first time playing a game. Looking at the grayed out characters on the screen, he was a little confused. Why did I die suddenly? Nonsense. They are enemies. If you go and give them milk, won't they beat your mother to death? After learning that Mu Yumor had never played games before, Sheng Anan persuaded Mu Yumor to play Honor of Kings with him, but he didn't expect Mu Yumor to be so bad at it. Sheng Anan couldn't help but curse. Okay, then how do we distinguish between the enemy and our own people? After Mu Yumor died several times, he felt a little unconvinced. Look at the map, the red ones are enemies. Sheng Anan said, with a skeptical tone, to be honest, I've never seen anyone who is so bad at playing games. Are you just a nerd? Mu Yumor's face fell. I'm not a nerd, I'm just not familiar with it. Okay, then come again. At this time, the tower on Sheng Anan's side had been knocked down by the enemy and the game restarted. Mu Yumor held the phone and said seriously, I will definitely do it well this time. When playing games, he rarely showed a childish expression. Sheng Anan laughed and said, okay, then whoever dies more times gets to call me brother. Mu Yumor hesitated for a moment and agreed, then let me play a few games by myself, so I can get familiar with it. He doesn't want to admit defeat. If he loses, doesn't that mean he is not as good as Sheng Anan? When Sheng Anan saw Mu Yumor agreed, he was immediately very proud. He knew that Mu Yumor definitely couldn't beat him, so it was decided that Mu Yumor would call him brother. At this time, the doorbell of the room rang. Sheng Anan jumped off the bed and opened the door. The housekeeper smiled and said, young master, Dr. Song is here to give you psychological counseling. Psychological counseling? Sheng Anan was stunned. Didn't the schedule say that it would be done on Sunday afternoon? Why was it only Thursday and they were doing psychological counseling? Sheng Anan asked directly. It was Master Ju's idea, the butler explained. Sheng Anan was also curious about Mu Yumor's psychological counseling, so he agreed, okay, where is Dr. Song? Uncle Butler, take me there. The housekeeper smiled and nodded, then took Sheng Anan to a room downstairs. When she opened the door, she saw a dark grey wall. Sheng Anan frowned when she saw it. This wall was too uncomfortable to look at. In the room, Song Shisha, who was dressed in a white suit, saw Sheng Anan coming over and smiled faintly, you Mo, come here and do it. The housekeeper retreated. Sheng Anan instinctively disliked this woman the first time he saw her. However, thinking that he still had to pretend to be Mu Yumor, he still sat over. How does it feel to receive treatment abroad? Song Shisha asked with a gentle smile. This woman's smile is so fake. Sheng Anan frowned in disdain, don't you want to laugh? If you don't want to laugh, don't laugh. Song Shisha was stunned. She didn't expect Mu Yumor to speak like this. She quickly suppressed her surprised expression and smiled slightly. Why do you say that? Did something happen abroad, so you are unhappy? Sheng Anan couldn't help but roll her eyes after hearing this. Why do you have to make me unhappy? Can't it be that I just don't like you? Song Shisha almost couldn't keep the smile on her face. Mu Yumor just went abroad, why did he change so much? Song Shisha suppressed her dissatisfaction and said suggestively, Mo, you must control your emotions and not let them control your brain. Sheng Anan was speechless after hearing this. Is this woman sick? Why did he have to restrain his emotions when he hated her? Sheng Ran snorted. Is this how you provide me with psychological counseling? I think you are far worse than Stephen. Song Shisha was slightly surprised. Stephen? The psychologist that Yang Ting hired from Mu Jiuye abroad. She suddenly felt that Mu Jiuye was about to get out of control. On the surface, Song Shisha still had a calm expression. Mo, Yang Ting should have told you that no matter what you think in your heart, as the future heir of the Mu family, you should not let others see your thoughts at will. Sheng Ran no longer wanted to pay attention to her. I don't like your tutoring, please leave. Song Shisha's face was stiff. What on earth was wrong with Mu Jiuye? Why did he suddenly become like a little hedgehog today? Taking a deep breath, she stood up and said, since you don't want to receive counseling, today's counseling ends here. Here's the medicine for you. Take one whenever you feel down or depressed. I won't tell your father. After saying that, Song Shisha got up and left. She wanted to find out what happened to Mu Jiuye abroad and why his personality changed so drastically. Sheng Ran watched Song Shisha being angry and left, revealing a sly smile. Chapter 15, Don't Want to Recognize. The housekeeper was surprised to see Song Shisha come out. Dr. Song, are you done so early today? Song Shisha smiled faintly and said, the plan needs to be changed, so the psychological counseling will be temporarily suspended today. She did not tell the housekeeper what had just happened. The housekeeper smiled and nodded. Thank you for your help, Dr. Song. Song Shisha said a few more polite words to the housekeeper before leaving. HMPH, hypocritical bad woman. Sheng Ran snorted at Song Shisha's back. Young master, what's wrong with you? The housekeeper was surprised to see Sheng Ran so angry. He remembered that the young master had clearly relied on Dr. Song before. I don't like her. Uncle housekeeper, please talk to my dad. I don't want to go to psychological counseling anymore. Sheng Ran said, turned around and went back to her room. The housekeeper was unsure of Sheng Ran's thoughts, so he had to tell Mu Yanting the truth. Hearing that Mu Jiuye didn't want to receive psychological counseling, Mu Yanting's eyes darkened. Since he doesn't like Song Shisha, then find someone else. Yes. Mu Yanting's eyes fell on one of the pages of the book in his hand. The personality of patients with depression will change greatly in the later stages, their tempers will become worse, and their moods will become unstable. On the other side, Sheng Ran returned to her room, locked the door, and couldn't help but call Mu Jiuye. Mu Jiuye was not happy. Oh, I was fighting at the critical moment, and I would be dead if you came in. Stop playing around, I'm talking to you about serious business. Sheng Ran snorted. I saw your psychiatrist today. He's so annoying. Dr. Song is a nice person, why don't you like her? Mu Jiuye didn't understand what Sheng Ran said. He was also a little confused. Today was not the time to see a psychologist, so why would Daddy call Dr. Song over in advance? No way, you still like Song Shisha. Don't you think that woman's smile is hypocritical? Seeing that Mu Jiuye was still speaking well of Song Shisha, Mu Jiuye couldn't help but rolling his eyes. I don't think so. Dr. Song is a nice person. She helped me get through the saddest time for me. Mu Jiuye frowned. He didn't like what Sheng Ran said about Dr. Song. Then tell me how she helped you get out of it. Sheng Ran was very skeptical. Mu Jiuye didn't want Sheng Ran to misunderstand, so he briefly talked about his psychological treatment during that period and skipped the incident of his self-harm. Sheng Ran found it very strange when she heard it. You take medicine when you are in a bad mood, and she also asks you to pretend to be happy in front of Daddy. Doesn't she have any other way? Well, I think Dr. Song's idea is good. This way, Daddy won't worry about me. Did Dr. Song give you a packet of medicine? I'm almost out of the medicine here. Mu Jiuye asked. Sheng Ran looked at the white particles in her hand suspiciously, and said nonsense without changing her expression. No, she probably forgot to bring it. Mu Jiuye was a little disappointed. Okay, Dr. Song should come again this week, don't forget to ask her for medicine then, I will have to stop taking the medicine in 2 days. Also, don't tell Daddy about this. I don't want him to know that I'm so useless. Probably because Sheng Ran and he are twins, Mu Jiuye didn't feel embarrassed to say this to Sheng Ran. Got it. How are you doing at the game? Do you want to play a round? Sheng Ran changed the subject. Of course. I practiced very well. Mu Jiuye said confidently. So awesome. I don't believe it. Watch how I pin you to the ground and rub you. Sheng Ran laughed and started a game with Mu Jiuye. At the end of the game, Mu Jiuye successfully won the MVP. He was very proud. "See, am I really awesome?" Sheng Ran snorted. "If I hadn't been assisting you all the time, could you have dealt such high damage?" Yes, you are awesome," Sheng Ran said deliberately with an unconvinced attitude. Mu Jiuye's stern face also showed a rare smile. "I told you, I'm the future heir of the Mu family. I'll be great at anything I learn." "Who said it wasn't true, Mu Jiuye? How long have you been taking the medicine given by Dr. Song?" Sheng Ran asked curiously. "Can you really become happier after taking this medicine?" "I have been taking it for more than a year. This medicine really makes people very happy." Mu Jiuye was in a good mood because he won the game. "When Dr. Song gives you the medicine next time, you will know after trying one. But don't take too much, I still need to eat," Mu Jiuye said. "Sheng Ran, this medicine is so powerful, why don't you tell Daddy and ask him to make you a bunch of it?" Mu Jiuye said quickly. "No, Daddy said that the heir of the Mu family cannot rely on any external force to control his emotions. If Daddy knew that I got better after taking medicine, he would definitely be angry." Sheng Ran had to promise that she would not tell her father about the medicine, and only then did Mu Jiuye feel relieved. "It's 4 o'clock. I won't talk to you anymore. I'm going to read," Mu Jiuye said after looking at the time. Although he had exchanged identities with Sheng Ran, Mu Jiuye was still used to doing things according to the schedule. He had already backed up electronic versions of those books on his mobile phone. "I really admire you. You didn't even take a break after leaving the Mu family," Mu Jiuye said in a serious tone. "I'm not a child." Chapter 16. There's something strange about Dr. Song. As soon as Sheng Ran came back, she heard Mu Jiuye say seriously that he was not a child, and she couldn't help laughing. "What nonsense are you talking about again? How come you are not a child?" Mu Jiuye didn't expect Mommy to come back suddenly, so he quickly hung up the phone. "Mommy." Sheng Ran's originally depressed mood was greatly relieved the moment she saw the little guy. She walked over and hugged Mu Jiuye. "Baby, Mommy is so happy to have you." Looking at the cute little guy, Sheng Ran couldn't help but think of another child she had never seen, and her eyes became a little moist. "Mommy, what's wrong with you?" Mu Jiuye sensitively noticed the change in Sheng Ran's mood. "It's nothing, Mommy is just thinking about something." Sheng Ran rubbed her eyes and didn't intend to tell the little one about it. Sheng Ran has always been bold, and Sheng Ran is afraid that he might get into trouble. "Mu Jiuye, Mommy, tell me if you have anything to say, I will help you. You are still young. Mommy's affairs are adults' affairs. You don't have to worry about them." Sheng Ran smiled and rubbed Mu Jiuye's little face. "Mommy, I'm not a child anymore." Sheng Ran smiled. "Wait until you grow as tall as Mommy before you say that." Mu Jiuye pursed his lips. He really couldn't do this. "What do you want to eat tonight?" "Mommy will take you out to eat today," Sheng Ran said. Mu Jiuye shook his head. "No need, Mommy, I won't eat afternoon." The last time he accompanied Mommy for dinner was an exception. He must not break the rules this time. Sheng Ran frowned when she heard this. The last time she heard the little guy say this, she just thought he was joking. This time when she heard him say this again, Sheng Ran felt a little strange in her heart. "Baby, why did you suddenly think of not eating afternoon?" Sheng Ran squatted down and asked seriously. "Mommy, this is the rule I set for myself," Mu Jiuye said. "Sheng Ran, how can that be possible? You are still a child. How can you grow taller if you don't eat dinner?" Mu Jiuye shook his head stubbornly. "It won't stop growing taller. I have breakfast and lunch." Sheng Ran found it more and more strange as he watched. The little guy has always been greedy, so why did he suddenly not even eat dinner? If you're not eating dinner, how about eating some fruit? Sheng Ran didn't understand the little guy's sudden change, but he didn't force him. Mu Jiuye refused again, and the unhappiness on her face was obvious. "No, Mommy, I won't eat afternoon." Sheng Ran had no choice but to pour a glass of milk over. "Then it's okay to drink milk, right?" This time Mu Jiuye didn't refuse. "Thank you, Mommy." He took the milk and drank the whole cup. "Mommy, I'm going to read a book." What's wrong with the little guy? Sheng Ran was confused. The little guy's personality had obviously changed a lot after returning home this time. Could it be because he couldn't adapt to the unfamiliar place? Sheng Ran felt a little regretful. If he had known earlier, he would not have brought the little guy back. Sheng Ran booked a suite in the hotel, which had 2 rooms and a kitchen. Mu Jiuye quickly locked the door as soon as he returned to the room. Where are the medicines? Where should they go? Mu Jiuye searched his bag for a long time but couldn't find it. Cold sweat broke out on his forehead. How come I can't find it? I clearly put it here. Mu Jiuye's tone became more and more agitated, and the suppressed desire for destruction in his heart rushed up. He almost wanted to smash everything he could see in front of him. As soon as he picked up a desk lamp, Mu Jiuye hesitated. No, I'm here with mommy now, I can't let mommy know that I have become like this, no. He bit himself hard, and the smell of blood filled the air. The pain made the violence in Mu Jiuye's eyes disappear a little. He rummaged through the bag again and finally found the medicine in the small bag. There was only one left. Mu Jiuye looked at the medicine in his hand and was stunned. He actually forgot that he had taken too much medicine a few times abroad, and now the medicine is gone. Mu Jiuye's temper, which had been well controlled, was about to get out of control, and he quickly swallowed the medicine. A few minutes later, the slightly redness in Mu Jiuye's eyes faded away, but his stomach began to hurt. Mu Jiuye slid down the bed, clutching his stomach which was aching. What bad luck! It seems that all my good luck has been wasted because of meeting mommy. Sheng Ran ordered some light food and decided to call the little guy over to eat. Baby, mommy ordered some porridge for you, would you like to have some? Sheng Ran knocked on the door of the room, but there was no response for a long time. Baby? Sheng Ran frowned and knocked on the door a little louder, but still got no response. What happened? Sheng Ran felt something was wrong. It was rare for the little guy to suddenly ignore her. Sheng Ran quickly found the key to the room door in the drawer, opened it, and saw Mu Jiuye lying on the ground. She was shocked. Sheng Ran. Sheng Ran ran over and quickly picked up the little girl. His hands were covered in cold sweat. Mu Jiuye closed his eyes tightly and his lips were a little purple. Sheng Ran quickly called 120 for emergency help. On the other side, Sheng Ran finally took some food from the kitchen and brought it back to her room while the housekeeper wasn't paying attention. Just as she was about to eat, her cell phone rang. As soon as the call was connected, the man's laughter came out. The results of the paternity test are out. I didn't expect that, little guy, you actually have twin brothers. Sheng Ran was unhappy. I know this without you telling me. Who are you talking about? Don't forget who helped you deal with the hackers from Country M. You said you would call me boss. Yes, the boss is right. Pique, who is also a hacker, coaxed Sheng Ran in a gentle voice. There was nothing he could do about it, because the hacker skills of the 5-year-old Sheng Ran were so much better than his. It was really frustrating to compare yourself with others. Now the boss wants to ask you for help with something else. I would like to trouble you to help me check the ingredients of a medicine. The price is negotiable. Sheng Ran said very generously. He had mastered hacking techniques when he was 3 years old, and in the past 2 years he had made a lot of money as a network consultant for foreign companies. Of course, Sheng Ran had always used the identity of Pique. Pique also wishes he could have a more impressive resume, and the relationship between the two has always been very good. So after hearing Sheng Ran's words, Pique agreed without hesitation. No problem, relying on your face. I also know a lot of biology experts in China, they should know a little about pharmacy. Pique didn't ask Sheng Ran why he wanted to check the medicine. After getting along with Sheng Ran for more than a year, Pique already understood Sheng Ran's character. This little guy only looks naughty, but actually he is very powerful. Thank you. By the way, please help me check the source of this medicine. Sheng Ran said with a smile. Pique agreed with a smile. By the way, boss, when I checked your paternity test, I found out something else. Your twin brother had been treated abroad and seemed to have serious psychological problems. When checking the paternity test, Sheng Ran told Pique Mu Jiuye's identity. Pique then checked the person on the hacker's internet and accidentally learned this information. Chapter 17. How did the little guy change? Sheng Ran sat at the door of the emergency room for a while, and then she waited for the doctor to push the door open, and then she hurried over. Doctor, how is my child? Acute gastric ulcer, almost perforated. What's wrong with you parents? You couldn't even notice that your 5-year-old child had such a serious stomach problem. The doctor said in a serious tone and scolded Sheng Ran. Mu Yanting's symptoms had obviously been going on for a long time, and now the situation was very serious. The doctors found it hard to imagine how a 5-year-old child could have such a serious gastric ulcer. I'm sorry, doctor. The child just returned to China and has some problems with acclimatization. It's my negligence. Sheng Ran felt heartbroken when he learned that the little guy had suffered so much. The doctor looked at the frail Sheng Ran and swallowed the rest of his words. Where's the child's father? Has he come over? I'm sorry, doctor. The child has no father. I'm raising him alone. I recently went back to China to look for a job and neglected him. Sheng Ran felt very guilty. No wonder the little guy didn't want to eat. It turned out that it was because of stomachache. She should have discovered it earlier. Knowing that Sheng Ran was a single mother, the doctor felt more sympathetic towards her. Come here, the child still needs an injection. I'll prescribe some medicine for you. You must take it on time when you go back. Sheng Ran, thank you, doctor. Doctor, why does he have stomach ulcer? He has never had this problem before. Sheng Ran's first reaction after learning that the little guy had a stomach ulcer was anxiety, and then he became a little confused. Sheng Ran has always been in good health, so how could he suddenly have such a serious stomach problem? The doctor explained, the stomach is an emotional organ. If the child had no physical problems before, it may be that you have just changed the environment and the child cannot adapt and has emotional problems. At this time, the head nurse came in and interrupted the doctor. Dr. Liu, please come out for a moment. Dr. Liu apologized to Sheng Ran and walked out. The child has multiple bruises on his body, which may indicate abuse. The nurse who examined him has called the police. After hearing the nurse's whisper, Dr. Liu's eyes turned complicated when he looked at Sheng Ran. It was hard to imagine that Sheng Ran, who looked beautiful and caring about children, would abuse a child. Is the child awake? Have you found out what happened? The head nurse shook her head. She hasn't woken up yet, but it's obviously very wrong for such a young child to have such a severe gastric ulcer. I think the nurse on duty was right to call the police. This parent is too young and beautiful. She doesn't look like someone who has given birth to a child. Dr. Liu frowned. You suspect it's trafficking? Don't talk nonsense if you don't have any evidence. The head nurse was very cautious. I'm not saying that she is, but the scars on the child can't be faked. It involves minors, so it's better to let the police investigate, don't you think? The head nurse also has children, and she felt heartbroken when she saw so many scars on Mu Jiuye's body. She found it hard to imagine that the person who made the child like this could be the child's mother. Dr. Liu thought so too and nodded. Doctor, is my child okay? Sheng Ran felt a little panicked when he saw the doctor looking at him strangely. The child is fine, but Miss Eli, do you know how many scars the child has? Dr. Liu looked at Sheng Ran and felt that she did not look like the kind of person who would abuse a child. What kind of scars? Sheng Ran was stunned. Why did the little guy have so many scars on his body? Dr. Liu, some were caused by heavy blows, and some were caused by knives. Because the scars on the child's body are suspected of abuse of a minor, if you can't explain the cause of these scars, we can only ask the police to come and talk to you. Sheng Ran's heart tightened. Can I take a look? By this time, the police had arrived. Who called the police, and where is the person suspected of abusing a minor? Their head nurse came over and said, I called the police. Our hospital suspects this lady of abusing a minor. The policeman looked at Sheng Ran with a serious look, but did not make a judgment immediately. Take me to see the child. Their head nurse nodded and led the police to the ward. Mu Jiuye lay on the bed with his eyes closed, receiving infrared drip, his face as pale as paper. Their head nurse gently lifted Mu Jiuye's clothes, revealing many mottled marks on his body. There were bruises of varying sizes on his arms and calves, and more than a dozen knife scars on his thighs, 3 or 4 of which had scabbed over not long ago and were covered with dark red blood. Such horrific scars are rarely seen on children, let alone ordinary adults. The few people who saw them showed pity in their eyes. Especially Dr. Liu. If he was half believing and half doubting about Sheng Ran's abuse of the child just now, he is now mostly convinced. How could a mother who truly loves her child not notice so many scars on the child's body, unless Sheng Ran beat him himself? And then? Sheng Ran looked at the scars on the little guy's body in disbelief. His heart ached as if it was being cut by a knife. He wished that the little guy's injuries were on himself. What happened? Why did her baby have so many scars? Who hurt her baby? Sheng Ran wanted to kill that man. To the police and others, her appearance made it seem as if she was trying to hide something. Ms. Eli, right? You are seriously suspected of abusing a minor. Come with us. The policeman walked over and said, looking at Sheng Ran with a rather unfriendly look. How could such a pretty girl be so cruel? Sheng Ran's eyes were red. It's not me, how could I hurt my own child? Can you wait for Anan to wake up? I want to ask him what's going on. Sheng Ran is now full of doubts. Where did the little guy get all these scars? Who hurt him? Police, I'm sorry, you are suspected of abusing a child, and the child is now in a coma. We can't let you stay with the child. Please come back to the police station with us to cooperate with the investigation. Please rest assured that if you are innocent, we will never wrongly accuse you. Sheng Ran took a deep breath, knowing that now was not the time to confront the police. Can I make a phone call so I can ask someone else to take care of the child? I'm worried about him being alone in the hospital. The police nodded. Okay, we will leave a police officer here as well. Sheng Ran called her best friend Xiao Shushan. Xiao Shushan didn't know Sheng Ran had already returned to China, and was very happy to see her calling her. Ran, I missed you so much. Shushan, I have a favor to ask of you. Can you come to the People's Hospital now and help me take care of Anan? Sheng Ran simply told Xiao Shushan about his troubles. Xiao Shushan agreed without saying anything. No problem, I'll be there right away. Thank you for comforting me. Why are you being so polite to me? What is going on? Xiao Shushan didn't believe that Sheng Ran would hurt Sheng Anan. No one knew better than her how much Sheng Ran had suffered to give birth to Sheng Anan. Chapter 18 Mu Jiuye's problem. Xiao Shushan came to the hospital quickly. Looking at the police standing beside Mu Jiuye, Xiao Shushan frowned and asked, what is going on? Sheng Ran didn't explain himself clearly on the phone, and Xiao Shushan didn't fully understand the current situation. Are you Miss Eli's friend Xiao Shushan? The police looked at Xiao Shushan warily. Xiao Shushan, well, I can guarantee that she would never abuse the child. You can't just arrest the child's mother like this. We don't want to take Miss Eli away, but the scars on the child's body cannot be explained in just a few words. The policeman said, motioning to the head nurse beside him to lift up the child's clothes. Looking at the marks of all sizes on Mu Jiuye's body, Xiao Shushan took a breath and said, how could this happen? For the safety of the child, we can only take Miss Eli away for investigation temporarily, the police explained. The injuries on Mu Jiuye's body were found to be sufficient for sentencing, so the police did not dare to let their guard down. Xiao Shushan frowned. Anyway, I believe she won't abuse the child. My lawyer will be here soon. Can you bail her out first and wait until the child wakes up? Although she was shocked by the scars on Sheng Anan's body, Xiao Shushan still instinctively stood on Sheng Ran's side. She didn't believe that Sheng Ran would hurt the child. Police, Ms. Xiao, the bail you mentioned is a foreign regulation. Our suspect cannot be released on bail. You can bring a lawyer with you. Xiao Shushan held her forehead with her hand. She was so concerned that she was confused. She had been playing abroad for too long and almost forgot about it. Okay, so when will the kid wake up? Head nurse, not sure. He's in so much pain. I gave him a sedative and painkillers. He probably won't wake up until tomorrow afternoon. Xiao Shushan was a little worried. Won't that mean Sheng Ran would have to stay in the detention center for one night? After thinking about it, she was still a little worried, so she asked the nanny she brought with her to entertain Mu Jiuye. Xiao Shushan bought some things and drove to the police station. Shushan, why are you here? Is Anan awake? Sheng Ran asked hurriedly. Anan hasn't woken up yet, how are you? Xiao Shushan sighed helplessly. The doctor said he won't wake up until tomorrow noon. Do you know what happened to the scars on Anan's body? Sheng Ran shook his head. I don't know, Anan rarely goes out when he is abroad. I never knew he had so many scars on his body. Thinking of the miserable condition of the little girl, Sheng Ran felt heartbroken. Her baby had suffered so much, but she was like a fool and knew nothing. Ran, don't blame yourself. The most urgent thing is to find out who bullied Anan. Don't worry, I will send someone to investigate. Xiao Shushan said to comfort Sheng Ran. Thank you for comforting me. Why are you being so polite to me? It's cold at night now. I bought you a quilt. You can sleep with it on at night. Xiao Shushan said, handing over the bag of things she bought. Have a good rest. You will definitely be able to come out tomorrow when Anan wakes up. There are snacks and hot packs. Since Sheng Ran is still just a suspect and the conditions in the place where he is detained are relatively relaxed, he is allowed to bring these things. Sheng Ran nodded absent-mindedly. She was now worried about the little one in the hospital. Shushin, please help me look after the little guy. Sheng Ran said, holding Xiao Shushin's hand. On the other side, Sheng Anan sent several messages to Mu Jiuye but received no reply, which made him feel a little strange. What happened to Mu Jiuye? Why didn't he reply to the message suddenly? At this moment, there was a knock on his door. Sheng Anan jumped out of the car to open the door. When he saw the person coming, he was a little surprised. Daddy, why are you here? Mu Yanting raised his eyebrows. Why, you don't welcome me? Of course not, Daddy, come in and sit down. Sheng Anan pulled Mu Yanting in with a smile. Mu Yanting was a little surprised. It was rare for the little guy to be so close to him. It seems that treatment abroad does have some effect. Do you want to see your mother? Mu Yanting asked after a pause. Sheng Anan's eyes lit up. What did Daddy mean by this? Did he recognize Mommy? Of course I do. But Daddy, didn't you say Mommy died? After being happy, Sheng Anan became a little worried. Could it be that Daddy was planning to find him a new mommy? Mu Yanting's next words made Sheng Anan completely relieved. Your mommy is not dead, she is still alive. That's great. Then Daddy, when can I see Mommy? Sheng Anan asked happily. He was really happy because he hadn't seen his mommy for several days and he missed her a little. Mu Yanting, if you pretend to be sick, you can see him tomorrow. Sheng Anan was stunned, pretending to be sick. Your mommy doesn't want to forgive us for something now. If you want to see your mommy more often, you have to cooperate with me and let your mommy come to work at Mu Group. Mu Yanting seriously fooled his son. Sheng Anan actually believed it. No way, why would mommy not want to see Mu Jiuye more? But no matter what, he hopes that mommy can have more contact with Daddy. Sheng Anan nodded, okay Daddy, I'll listen to you. What should I do tomorrow? Seeing the little guy agree, Mu Yanting couldn't help but curl his lips. The next day, Chen Zhong called Sheng Ran as Mu Yanting had asked, but the phone rang for a long time but no one answered. Chen Zhong called several times in a row, but Sheng Ran didn't answer. He glanced at Mu Yanting, who was sitting in the president's chair with a changeable look on his face. Chen Zhong already had cold sweat on his back. No way, did Sheng Ran block him as soon as he returned? Chen Zhong didn't believe it and changed the number to continue calling Sheng Ran, but it still showed that no one answered. Master Ju, Miss Eli might have something to do, so she didn't answer the phone. Chen Zhong was actually worried about another thing in his heart. Sheng Ran didn't answer the phone for so long, could she have gone to find a new job? Mu Yanting's face was as gloomy as water. Check and see what she is doing. He waited until 10 o'clock before asking Chen Zhong to call, as Sheng Ran couldn't still be sleeping. Yes. Chen Zhong was extremely curious. What was the relationship between Sheng Ran and Jiuye? Why did Jiuye care so much about Sheng Ran's affairs? But no matter how curious he was, Chen Zhong was not willing to ask Mu Yanting so much. Soon, Chen Zhong found out where Sheng Ran was. When he came to report, Chen Zhong's tone was very nervous. Master Ju, I found out that Miss Eli is now detained in the police station. It is said that she is suspected of child abuse. Miss Eli actually has a child. Chen Zhong was a little surprised when he heard the latter part. Wow! The chair was suddenly moved away, and Chen Zhong was startled. The next second, he saw President Mu standing up and walking outside with the car keys in his hand. Chen Zhong was so scared that he hurriedly followed him. Master Ju, you can't drive after drinking. I'll take you wherever you want to go. Go to the police station. Mu Yanting said with a cold face, barely regaining his senses and throwing the key to Chen Zhong. Chen Zhong quickly took the car keys. Fortunately, he reacted quickly. If Mu Yanting had really been taken to the police station for drunk driving, it would have been on the front page of the news tomorrow. Chapter 19 Suspected Child Abuse. Master Ju, why are you here? Police Chief Li Wen came out to greet him personally when he learned that Mu Yanting was coming. Come and bail someone out. Mu Yanting said. Qualified Secretary Chen Zhong quickly took out Sheng Ran's photo and handed it over. This is the man who was arrested last night. Li Wen took a look and handed the things to his men. Check and see how this person was caught. After that, he smiled at Mu Yanting in a flattering manner. Master Ju, please go to my office and rest for a while. I will have someone bring your people here after I have found out the truth. Mu Yanting nodded lightly. Director's office. The police arrived quickly, but they did not bring Sheng Ran. Chief, this person is suspected of abusing her own child. She cannot be allowed to leave until the child wakes up. Mu Yanting's face suddenly darkened. His own child. Sheng Ran gave birth again. How old is the child? The police officer didn't expect Mu Yanting to ask this. After a pause, he said, it seems to be 4 years old. Sheng Ran deliberately changed Sheng Ainen's age to 1 year younger, so Sheng Ainen was only 4 years old in her identity information. After asking this question, Mu Yanting started playing with the Buddhist beads. He said nothing, but there seemed to be undercurrents in his eyes. Chen Zhong knew something was going to happen when he saw Mu Yanting's expression. He quickly said, it's unlikely. How old is Miss Eli this year? How could she have her own child? Is this a misunderstanding? The police officer shook his head and said, there is no misunderstanding. She herself said it was her child. When the child was taken to the hospital for emergency treatment, the doctor found the injuries on the child's body and called the police. Li Wen frowned. If this was true, it would be difficult to deal with if he was suspected of child abuse. But he didn't dare to offend Mu Yanting so openly. Li Wen, did you ask clearly what the child said? The police officer shook his head, the child is not awake yet. Li Wen glared at his men and said, nonsense. You brought him in before the child woke up. Who will take care of the child? Master Ju wants to see someone, bring him out first. The police officer nodded and turned to leave. Ms. Eli, someone wants to see you. Sheng Ran stood up immediately, is my child awake? We don't know yet. The hospital hasn't responded yet. You come out first. The police officer said as he brought Sheng Ran out. Seeing the only person in the office, Sheng Ran instinctively wanted to run, but before he took 2 steps, he was pulled back by someone. Bang! The door was slammed shut and Sheng Ran was pushed against the wall. Don't you want to see me so much? Mu Yanting pinched Sheng Ran's hand, feeling angry and furious. Sheng Ran tried to struggle, but couldn't get free. She glanced at the emotions in Mu Yanting's eyes, and her heart was touched, but she quickly looked away. What's there to see? Didn't we break up a long time ago? With so many misunderstandings and hatred between them, there was no possibility between them. Sheng Ran didn't want to recall those things anymore, and didn't want to see Mu Yanting again. You have cut off all ties, so whose is the 4-year-old child? Mu Yanting forcefully lifted Sheng Ran's chin and forced her to look at him. You went to see my child. Sheng Ran's pupils suddenly shrank, and there was an indescribable panic in his heart. She was afraid that the Mu family would take the child away. In Mu Yanting's eyes, her behavior was like her reaction to being exposed. Mu Yanting sneered, don't worry, I won't kill a child. Who is that man? Thinking about the fact that Sheng Ran had once been under another person, Mu Yanting was going crazy with jealousy. Sheng Ran also reacted at this time. She changed Inan's age by 1 year younger. Mu Yanting didn't know that the child was his. She breathed a sigh of relief in her heart, and seeing Mu Yanting's furious reaction, she just pursed her lips. Why should I tell you? Mu Yanting, we are divorced. It is my freedom to be with you, isn't it? Bang! Sheng Ran was so scared by the fierce fist that she closed her eyes, but she didn't expect the fist to land beside her. Mu Yanting looked at her fiercely, his eyes were bloodshot. Sheng Ran, you are mine. He then pressed down on her, the kiss forceful and overbearing. Sheng Ran tried to break free, but the man's hand was as hard as iron to move. Sheng Ran was furious and bit down ruthlessly. The man groaned and kissed her even deeper. Sheng Ran's mouth was full of the taste of rust, and the man on her was like a madman, holding her and refusing to let go. The man didn't let Sheng Ran go until she was out of breath and about to faint. Cough cough cough, Mu Yanting, you lunatic. Sheng Ran panted and glared at him fiercely. Mu Yanting sneered, are you crazy because you despise me now? Who was it that was attracted to my face and kept chasing me? When the person involved suddenly brought up this dark history, Sheng Ran felt a little guilty. She fell in love with Mu Yanting at first sight. In order to catch him, she bribed the security guard in the school's monitoring room and had dozens of encounters with Mu Yanting. Just as she was about to make a few excuses, she heard Mu Yanting continue, Sheng Ran, if you catch someone, you must take responsibility. Don't think you can just run away after sleeping with them. Mu Yanting's beautiful and fierce phoenix eyes were full of paranoia, as if he was going to turn hostile if Sheng Ran didn't say something right. You. Sheng Ran was about to say something, but when he saw Mu Yanting's arm soaked in blood, his face suddenly changed. What's wrong with your hand? Chapter 24 to be taken away. Only then did Sheng Ran realize that she was also stained with a lot of blood. The strong smell of blood just now was not caused by her biting Mu Yanting's lips, but came from Mu Yanting's body. I won't die, it's none of your business. Mu Yanting had a cold face and put his hands behind his back. Why are you still throwing a tantrum after losing so much blood? Sheng Ran was speechless. Was this the time to throw a tantrum? She forcibly pulled his hand over. Rolling up Mu Yanting's sleeves, Sheng Ran took a breath when he saw the scar that covered most of his arm. The stitched wound had split open and was bleeding profusely. Sheng Ran was really helpless. How could Mu Yanting get angry with her despite having such a wound? Is this man playing with his life? Did you bring someone here? Let them treat your wounds. Sheng Ran said helplessly. Mu Yanting pursed his lips with a stinky face. No, I won't die. Probably because of the excessive bleeding, Mu Yanting's lips were a little white, but he could still be stubborn. Sheng Ran laughed angrily. Don't see me anymore if you make trouble. Mu Yanting narrowed his eyes and looked at Sheng Ran warily. Are you not going to see me? I want to see Mu you more, so of course I can't not see you at all. I'm not interested in anything else. Sheng Ran looked at Mu Yanting's crazy look and took a step back with a soft heart. Forget it, it was her fault for being so shameless and provoking him in the first place. Can we go to the hospital first? Mu Yanting looked at Sheng Ran for a long time, as if considering the truthfulness of her words. Sheng Ran has lost his patience. I'll give you one more minute. If you don't want to go, forget it. I'm leaving. I'll go. Mu Yanting reached out and held her hand. You come with me. Sheng Ran lowered his eyes and looked at the hand being held, feeling somewhat helpless. Mu Yanting, I am a suspect now and will be locked up. I cannot go with you. If she could go out, she would like to fly to the little guy right now. I have greeted the director, you can follow me out. Mu Yanting said lightly. Sheng Ran hesitated. Really? But Shushan also hired a lawyer for me, and they said that this is not allowed. That's because she's useless. Having said that, Mu Yanting took Sheng Ran's hand and opened the door. Master Jiu. You finally came out. Why did your wound suddenly split open? Chen Zhong was shocked when he saw Mu Yanting's hand soaked with blood. Please get in the car first. We have to go to the hospital right away. Chen Zhong said, glancing at Sheng Ran, and was stunned for a moment. What is this? He had never seen Sheng Ran's true appearance, and he didn't react when he saw Sheng Ran. I'm Eli. Sheng Ran explained, I was wearing makeup before. Ms. Eli, you too. Chen Zhong was very puzzled. Sheng Ran looked completely different with and without makeup. It was the first time he saw someone make herself ugly with makeup. Is this the current aesthetic standard? Drive to the hospital. Mu Yanting interrupted the two impatiently, holding Sheng Ran's hand and quickening his pace. As he was leaving, Director Li Wen smiled and said hello to Mu Yanting. This is the cell phone of that lady. Take care, Master Jiu. Mu Yanting nodded and took it. Sheng Ran was speechless. Is this the power of power? She actually came out so easily. Can you give me your cell phone? Sheng Ran asked tentatively after getting in the car. Who do you want to message? Mu Yanting held the phone in his hand, his voice hoarse, and he looked moody. Send a message to Shushan to let her know I'm safe. I don't have a boyfriend. Sheng Ran was anxious to inform Xiao Shushan to take Sheng Anan away quickly. At this time, she didn't dare to say anything angry or express her jealousy towards Mu Yanting. Mu Yanting suddenly smiled, holding the phone in his hand, not knowing whether he believed it or not. Tell me the truth and I'll give you the phone. Chen Zhong felt a tingling sensation on his back when he heard this. It was all over. Master Jiu was going crazy. He almost understood by now. Jiuye actually fell in love with a woman with a child, and now he is still jealous. What is wrong with Jiuye? Did you go crazy after taking too many medicines? Sheng Ran gritted her teeth. It was obvious that Mu Yanting didn't want to give her the phone. She must not let Mu Yanting see Anan. After thinking about it, Sheng Ran decided to take a gamble. She pretended to be angry and said, the truth is that I don't have a boyfriend. Believe it or not. If you don't want to give me the phone, put me down. Mu Yanting looked at her quietly, his tone calm, but his words were crazy. Sheng Ran, if you lie to me again, I will lock you up and never let you out. Sheng Ran frowned. She also felt that Mu Yanting was a little strange. In just a short while, Mu Yanting's emotions fluctuated too much. What happened to this man in the past few years? While Sheng Ran was still guessing, Mu Yanting had already handed her the phone over. Here. Thank you. Sheng Ran breathed a sigh of relief. No matter what Mu Yanting's attitude was now, she had to let Xiao Shushan take the person away first. She quickly took out her phone, sent a message to Xiao Shushan, deleted it, and then called Xiao Shushan. Shushan, how is the child now? Ran, how can you call now? Are you out? Xiao Shushan was very happy to receive Sheng Ran's call, and hasn't woken up yet, but the doctor said he's not in any danger. He slept so long only because he didn't get enough rest before. Sheng Ran breathed a sigh of relief, as long as the child was okay. She looked up and bumped into Mu Yanting's deep pupils. The man's arrogant phoenix eyes were like a deep pool, impossible to see through. Sheng Ran's heart skipped a beat when he was looked at by him, and he felt inexplicably flustered. Chapter 21 I can't contact Sheng Ran. Mu Yanting is here. Xiao Shushan was startled. She also knew Sheng Ran's current relationship with Mu Yanting. How did these two meet? No, she must not let Mu Yanting see in. Xiao Shushan called the nurse. Can I be discharged now? That's definitely not possible. The child is still in a coma and is suspected of child abuse. You can't just take the child away. The nurse rejected it immediately after hearing what Xiao Shushan said. Xiao Shushan, but I have something urgent to do. I have a doctor at home. Can I take the child back to take care of him? Please don't make it difficult for me. The child is still in a coma. The hospital doesn't dare to sign for your discharge. The nurse was also helpless. Why don't you go back first? We have nurses here who can take care of the child. Xiao Shushan thought, can we change the ward? I want to change to an independent soundproof ward with better privacy. I can pay more. The nurse did not object at this time. Sure, I will change it for you. You can pay on your phone and then transfer to another bed. Xiao Shushan paid the money quickly. Quick, transfer the child to me. If someone comes to ask if he is here, don't say he is here. I don't want the child to be disturbed. The nurse was stunned, but nodded, okay. Soon, Mu Yanting's car arrived. The hospital had received a call from Chen Zhong a long time ago. Mu Yanting took him to the emergency department for stitching as soon as he got out of the car. Sheng Ran wanted to go take a look first, but Mu Yanting kept holding her hand. As soon as Sheng Ran moved, Mu Yanting stared at her vigilantly. Where are you going? I'm not going anywhere. Can I change my posture if I'm tired of standing? Sheng Ran said helplessly. Unexpectedly, Mu Yanting suddenly reached out and pulled, and before Sheng Ran could react, Mu Yanting pressed him to sit on his lap. Your wound is being stitched, what are you doing? Sheng Ran was startled. Aren't you tired? I'll hold you. Mu Yanting said expressionlessly. The doctor treating the wound. Chen Zhong. I really don't want to admit that this is Jiuye. Sheng Ran felt a little embarrassed when being stared at. Just sew your wound properly and stop making trouble. Mu Yanting, sit still. Sheng Ran was afraid of tearing Mu Yanting's wound if she struggled free, so she had to give up. So Sheng Ran just sat on Mu Yanting. Mu Yanting held her with one hand while the doctor was stitching up his other hand. The scene was as weird as it could be. Sheng Ran was also fidgeting and embarrassed. It was so embarrassing. If she had known, she would have stayed in the car and refused to get out. Doctor, the wound has been sutured again. Don't get wet in the near future. Also, you and your wife can't do any strenuous exercise, otherwise it will cause a bigger tear, which will be troublesome. When Mu Yanting heard this, he curled his lips slightly and said, good. Sheng Ran quickly explained, Doctor, he and I divorced a long time ago, and we have nothing to do with each other now. You call this okay? The doctor looked doubtful and his eyes fell on where Sheng Ran was sitting. The meaning was self-evident. They are sitting on my lap, so it looks like the honeymoon period, right? Sheng Ran then realized that her explanation now would only make things worse, so she simply shut up. Mu Yanting, who was standing by, got upset because of Sheng Ran's words that they had divorced a long time ago. This woman really wants to cut off ties with him. Chen Zhang was shocked. Divorce. Miss Eli was actually Zhu Yi's ex-wife. He actually hired Zhu Yi's ex-wife. Can he still keep his year-end bonus? Sheng Ran stood up. Well, since your wound has healed, I will leave first. Mu Yanting sneered. Are you in such a hurry to get me out? Are you afraid of running into your lover? The doctor was stunned. What did he hear? Sheng Ran was overwhelmed by the doctor's gossipy expression. Mu Yanting, can you please stop talking nonsense? I already said I don't have a lover. Mu Yanting snorted. How can you have children without a lover? Sheng Ran pursed her lips and simply shut up. No matter how she explained it, she couldn't make it clear, so let it be destroyed. Chen Zhang was almost scared to death. Not only did he recruit Zhu Yi's ex-wife, but she also had a child with another man. What kind of crematorium was this? Would Zhu Yi kill him? Chen Zhang, check where that evil creature lives. Mu Yanting said with a cold face. He wanted to see what that evil creature looked like. Yes. Chen Zhang was eager to leave here quickly. He didn't want to listen anymore. Sheng Ran was anxious. Mu Yanting, what do you want to do? We are in a society ruled by law now, and we won't tolerate your reckless behavior. Mu Yanting must not see Sheng Ran. Her look undoubtedly completely envied Mu Yanting's anger. He sneered, where is your lover? He doesn't dare to come out at this time. It seems that your vision for finding new people is not very good. Sheng Ran, I said I don't have a lover. Mu Yanting, can you please stop going crazy in the hospital? Mu Yanting narrowed his eyes. If you don't have a lover, whose child is that? Sheng Ran pursed her lips. She couldn't say that the child was Mu Yanting's. Just when she didn't know what to do, Chen Zhang pushed the door in. Master Zhu, I found the child's ward. It's VIP room 502. Mu Yanting turned and left, and Sheng Ran had to quickly follow him. She was so anxious that she was going crazy. No, she couldn't let Mu Yanting see Sheng Ran. Sheng Ran quickly sent a message to Xiao Shushan. Shushan, help. Mu Yanting is here, quickly find a way to hide Anan, and don't let him know Anan's identity. Xiao Shushan was also shocked when she saw the news. Damn, Mu Yanting came here so quickly. What to do? Xiao Shu anxiously tried to wake up the unconscious Mu Yumor, but no matter how she called, the little guy would not wake up. At this time, the door was knocked, and Sheng Ran's voice came over. Mu Yanting, the child needs to rest, you can't disturb him. Mu Yanting ordered coldly, tear down the door. Chapter 22 Crazy Mu Yanting. At this time, Mu Yumor, who was lying on the bed, was also awakened by the sound. Looking at the white room in front of him, he was confused for a moment. Where is this? Anan, you're finally awake. Xiao Shushan breathed a sigh of relief. Come quickly, I'll help you put on some makeup. There's a stranger outside the door, and your mommy can't let that person see your real face. Mu Yumor looked at the woman in front of him with a wary look on his face, not completely believing her words. Who are you? I'm your godmother. You met me when you were 2 years old. If you don't believe me, look at the photos of me and your mother in my phone. Xiao Shushan pointed to the photo album and showed it to Mu Yumor. It's too late, hurry up, or your mom will be angry. Mu Yumor nodded, okay. Xiao Shushan picked up the makeup brush and used shadow to contour Mu Yumor's face. At this time, the door lock was also scrapped. Xiao Shushan quickly threw the cosmetics under the bed. Mu Yanting strode in and squinted his eyes at Mu Yumor, who was sitting on the bed. Little thing, where is your father? Sheng Ran looked at the little guy who had changed his appearance and finally breathed a sigh of relief. Mu Yumor, who was sitting on the bed, was confused. What was his daddy saying to him? Wait, is it possible that the person mommy doesn't want him to recognize is daddy? Xiao Shushan was dissatisfied. Mu Yanting, how do you talk to my son? Mu Yanting glanced at Xiao Shushan. Your son? Xiao Shushan snorted. Yeah, I'm an illegitimate child, what's the problem? Sheng Ran was deeply touched. It turned out that sisters are the most reliable. Mu Yanting, Sheng Ran said this is her child. I asked Ran Ran to help me hide it. I don't want my family to know. Xiao Shushan said as she protected Mu Yumor under her body, fearing that Mu Yanting would notice that something was wrong with the little guy. Fortunately, Mu Yanting only glanced at her and then looked away. You are so brave that you secretly have an illegitimate child. Xiao Shushan, this is our Xiao family's business, what does it have to do with you? Mu Yanting nodded calmly. it has nothing to do with me. I will tell Xiao Lang when he returns. Upon learning that the child was not born to Sheng Ran and another man, Mu Yanting's violent emotions calmed down a lot. Xiao Shushan exploded. Mu Yanting, are you okay? Why did you tell my brother? Mu Yanting chuckled. I'm happy to do that. Thinking of the misunderstanding with Sheng Ran just now, Mu Yanting wanted to kill Xiao Shushan. Xiao Shushan could only look to Sheng Ran for help. Ran, save me. If her brother knew about this, she would be beaten to death. Mu Yanting, can you please not tell Xiao Lang? You know his character. Can you keep this secret? Sheng Ran didn't want Xiao Lang to know either. She couldn't let Xiao Shushan really recognize Sheng Anan as her illegitimate child. Otherwise, Xiao Shushan's reputation would be ruined. At that time, she could only reveal Sheng Anan's true identity, which was not the result Sheng Ran wanted. Mu Yanting held the Buddhist beads in his hand. His deep eyes were obscure and unclear. You are divorcing me to let a stranger go, why should I help you? Sheng Ran pursed her lips and had to take a step back. I take back what I said just now, okay? No. Mu Yanting stepped forward and grabbed Sheng Ran's hand. Besides that, you have to go back and see Mu Yumor with me once a week and stay at the Mu family for one night. You can't reveal our divorce in front of the children. Sheng Ran frowned. Of course she wanted to go see Mu Yumor, but she didn't want to pretend to be a couple with Mu Yumor. I can go back with you, but I still want to make things clear with Mu Yumor about the divorce. There's no need for us to lie to the child. Mu Yanting, I will inform Xiao Lang now. You are so cruel. Sheng Ran gritted his teeth and said, okay, I promise you. Mu Yumor, who was sitting on the bed, kept his eyes on Sheng Ran and Mu Yanting. Then he understood that Daddy and Mommy had recognized each other, but Mommy didn't want to be with Daddy anymore, and Daddy was pursuing his wife. Mu Yumor took out his cell phone and secretly exchanged information with Sheng Anan. Mu Yanting glanced at it casually and felt that the phone Mu Yumor was holding seemed a little familiar, like the one he customized exclusively for the little guy. How could it be in the hands of Xiao Shushan's illegitimate son? He was about to take a closer look when Sheng Ran stopped him. You scared the child. The child just woke up. You will disturb his rest by staying here. His thoughts were interrupted and Mu Yanting didn't think about it anymore. Anyway, the goal has been achieved, and Mu Yanting is now in a much better mood than before. You send me. Sheng Ran almost wanted to roll his eyes. Don't you have legs yourself? Mu Yanting, then I don't mind staying here for a while. Okay, I'll take you there. Sheng Ran was convinced. What was wrong with Mu Yanting? Why did his mood change so quickly? One moment he seemed like a pervert, and the next moment he became childish. Mu Yanting raised his lips in satisfaction, but before leaving, he still warned Xiao Shushan, if you don't want to raise the child, you can arrange to give it away. The daughter of the Xiao family should not do things that abuse children. After saying that, Mu Yanting left. Xiao Shu, who stayed where she was, rolled her eyes in anger. Damn it. She didn't abuse the child, okay? However, Mu Yanting's words also reminded Xiao Shushan, and she couldn't help but ask Mu Yumor, by the way, what's the matter with the scars on your body? Who bullied you? Tell your godmother. Chapter 23 Review. Chen Zhong was following Sheng Ran and Mu Yanting when his cell phone suddenly rang. Chen Zhong, I have sent you the contract 2 days ago. What did Yang Ting say? You wouldn't have forgotten about me, right? Sheng Yao's slightly dissatisfied voice came from the other end of the phone. Chen Zhong then remembered Sheng Yao's matter. He paused and said, it's like this. Jiuye said that the group will not invest in you anymore, so don't come to me anymore. What? How is this possible? Didn't Yang Ting say that he would invest in me that day? Chen Zhong, did you get it wrong? Sheng Ran's tone was full of shock. She had prepared everything and even made guarantees in front of the shareholders. Now she was told that she could not inject capital. What should she do? Chen Zhong, Miss Sheng, this is Master Zhu's intention. It's not something I can control. When Sheng Ran heard Sheng Yao's name, she couldn't help but look back at Chen Zhong. Mu Yanting, I asked Chen Zhong to stop investing in Sheng Yao. Sheng Ran pursed her lips, thank you. Without the investment from the Mu group, it would be much easier for her to deal with Sheng Yao. Mu Yanting, what's going on between you and the Sheng family? He remembered that Sheng Ran had a good relationship with his family at that time. It's nothing. It's just that Sheng Yao tricked me when I was giving birth, and I almost died. Sheng Ran said lightly, as if the person who walked on the brink of life and death was not her. Mu Yanting frowned. So you didn't disappear because you were angry with me? No, I was just imprisoned by my family. They were afraid that my divorce from you would affect the cooperation between the Mu and Sheng families. Sheng Ran sneered. How ironic. The family affection that she was so proud of could not withstand the cooperation of the Mu family in the end. They completely ignored the conflict between her and Mu Yanting and just wanted to push her to ask the Mu family for forgiveness. It's better not to have such family members. Mu Yanting's eyes flashed with heartache, and he held Sheng Ran's hand. I'm sorry, I should have checked more carefully at that time. Sheng Ran took a deep breath and suppressed the emotions in his eyes. It has nothing to do with you. We had already agreed to divorce at that time. You didn't do anything wrong to me. It was me who was stupid and trusted the wrong person. Mu Yanting really didn't like Sheng Ran's look of wanting to cut off ties with him, and the restless emotions in his heart began to stir again. Mu Yanting didn't want to get angry in front of Sheng Ran, so he let go of her hand and left without looking back. Chen Zhang, who had deliberately kept a distance from the two, was confused and hurriedly quickened his pace to chase after them. Master Zhu, wait for me. You can't drive by yourself. Sheng Ran was confused. What happened to Mu Yanting? But she was not in the mood to care about Mu Yanting's emotions now. When she saw Mu Yanting leave, she hurried back to the ward. Xiao Shushan was relieved to see Sheng Ran coming back. Ran, you should ask him. He wouldn't tell me about his injuries when I asked him about them. Mu Jiuye sat on the bed with his knees hugged and his head buried in his arms, looking like he didn't want to communicate with anyone at all. Xiao Shushan was also helpless. Sheng Ran came over, and then, can you tell mommy what happened? Mu Jiuye was panicking. How could mommy see those scars on his body? What should I do? What if mommy finds out that he is not Sheng Ran and doesn't want him anymore? Seeing the little guy like this, Sheng Ran felt so distressed, and then, can you tell mommy? Mommy, can I not say it? Mu Jiuye's muffled voice came out. Sheng Ran patted his head. You don't have to tell me, but mommy will be very worried. Tell me and I will help you solve it, okay? Can you look up at mommy? Mommy will be very sad if you ignore her like this. When Mu Jiuye heard this, she couldn't help but slowly raise her head. Her eyes were clearly filled with tears, but she was stubborn and refused to let them fall. Her beautiful phoenix eyes were red and she pursed her lips tightly. Mommy, don't be sad. Be good. Sheng Ran held the little guy in his arms and patted his back gently. Can you tell mommy what happened? Did someone bully you abroad? Mu Jiuye said in a muffled voice. No, mommy, I don't want to say it, please. Sheng Ran felt so distressed. The little guy looked like he had obviously suffered a lot of injustice. She just hated herself for not caring enough about the little guy and didn't even notice that he had so many scars on his body. I'm sorry, baby. It's all mommy's fault. It's all my fault that I didn't find out earlier. Sheng Ran said self-reproachfully. It has nothing to do with mommy. Don't be sad, mommy. It's my own fault. Mu Jiuye quickly shook his head. It was all his own fault. He didn't want to make mommy sad. Sheng Ran frowned. Those scars are obviously caused by someone beating you. How could you have done it yourself? Baby, can you talk to mommy about it? No, I wanted to learn self-defense, so I practiced secretly with others. These were accidentally left when I was fighting with someone. The injuries on that person's body are more serious than mine. Mu Jiuye said the second half of the sentence with a little pride. He had beaten his coach so hard that he had to stay in bed for 2 days, and his dad even praised him for it. After hearing what he said, Sheng Ran became even more confused. When did the little girl learn self-defense? She didn't even know it at all. Because Sheng Ran was abroad with work, she was often not at home. She hired a nanny at first, but Sheng Ran was too precocious and didn't like being disturbed by the nanny. Sheng Ran had no choice but to withdraw the nanny and arrange 2 bodyguards to guard the door to protect Sheng Ran. Sheng Ran was very confused because the 2 bodyguards had never told him that Sheng Ran was practicing self-defense. Chapter 24. Whose child is that? Sheng Ran, baby, when did you learn self-defense? Why didn't you tell mommy? Why am I covered in wounds after learning self-defense? Did I run into a black-hearted coach? Xiao Shushan, who was standing by, had the same doubts. She was shocked by the scars on the little guy's body. How could practicing self-defense be so exaggerated that his whole body was covered with scars? Can you tell mommy what's going on? Sheng Ran squatted down patiently and tried to persuade Mu Jiuye. Mu Jiuye pursed his lips, realizing that he had let the cat out of the bag. He buried his head in the quilt. Mommy, I'm tired, can I rest for a while? Sheng Ran had no choice but to nod. Okay, then whenever you are willing to tell mommy, you can find mommy anytime. Mommy doesn't want you to keep things in your heart. As soon as Sheng Ran left, Mu Jiuye immediately called Sheng Ran. Why didn't you reply to my message for so long? I thought something happened to you. Sheng Ran couldn't help but complain. She was worried to death when he couldn't get in touch with her for a long time. I thought Mu Jiuye had been exposed. I'm sorry, I passed out and went to the hospital, so I didn't get back to you in time. Mu Jiuye felt a little guilty when he said this. I may have caused you a little trouble. Wait, that's strange, why are you unconscious? Sheng Ran grasped the key point. It should be the side effects of some drugs. Anyway, my mom sent me to the hospital, and it may have caused her some trouble. Mu Jiuye felt embarrassed when he said this. Just now, when Xiao Shushan asked him about the scars on his body, she told him that Sheng Ran was taken away by the police for investigation. Mu Jiuye felt very guilty. It's because of him that mommy is suspected by the police. It turns out that he is not suitable to stay here any longer. Sheng Ran, let's change back, otherwise mommy will be suspected of child abuse. Then you can say that the scars on your body are fake. Sheng Ran was very surprised. How many scars do you have on your body that would make the police think you were abused? Let's not talk about these anymore, let's change back quickly. By the way, I have some information about daddy and mommy to tell you. Mu Jiuye briefly told Sheng Ran what happened with daddy and mommy just now. Sheng Ran couldn't help but smack her lips. Daddy is really treacherous, no wonder he said he wanted to cooperate with me. Mu Jiuye, since mommy is coming to see me, I think we should change back first, otherwise they will always ask me about the scars on my body, and it will be bad if I reveal it. No, mommy already knows about the scars on your body. If I change back now, wouldn't it be easier for the truth to be exposed? Sheng Ran refused without even thinking. Why don't you tell me what happened to the scars on your body? Did someone in the Mu family abuse you? Tell me and I'll help you get revenge. Mu Jiuye shook his head. No, I went to Mr. Song for extra training privately, so I got some scars. It's Teacher Song again. Sheng Ran was alert in her heart. This woman must be a bad woman. No, he couldn't let Mu Jiuye come back and continue to be bullied by Teacher Song. We can't switch back right now. Don't forget that the scars on your body have been examined by doctors. They are not fools. Can they not tell the difference between real scars and fake ones? When the police investigate, our identity swap will be exposed. Mommy will definitely be angry if you don't recognize her when you get to her. Do you want to make mommy angry? Mu Jiuye, of course I don't want mommy to be angry, but now mommy is suspicious. She thinks the source of the scars on my body is strange. If she finds out that I'm lying to her, won't she be even angrier? Sheng Ran assured solemnly, don't worry, mommy won't find out. Mommy has a lot of things to do abroad, and she's not with me most of the time. I'll have someone smooth things over there, and mommy won't find out. Mu Jiuye was half believing and half doubting. Are you sure? If I get discovered, it won't be a joke. Mommy will be really angry, and daddy will definitely catch me back. Then I will be really unlucky. Mu Jiuye, who had rarely lied since he was a child, instinctively felt that what Sheng Ran said was a bad idea. He didn't want to do it, but he really wanted to stay with his mother. The time he spent with his mommy was the happiest time of his life, and he didn't want to leave just like that. Don't worry, I have friends over there, and mommy won't find out what's going on. If you leave now, it will arouse the police's suspicion. Didn't you say it was a self-defense technique? Just tell the police that when the time comes, they won't be able to find anything wrong. Sheng Ran was very confident that he could definitely solve this problem. Although Mu Jiuye didn't completely believe it, he was persuaded by Sheng Ran. Okay, then I'll listen to you. Actually, I don't want to leave mommy either. I want to stay with mommy for a while longer. That's a deal then. You continue to stay here and I'll stay at the Mu family. We'll exchange information at any time and get daddy and mommy together as soon as possible so that our family can live together. Sheng Ran was a little happy when he said this. After all, he was just a child. All I want to do is to let daddy and mommy live together. Chapter 25 My illegitimate son. Mu Jiuye frowned. The police are coming, what should we do? If the police examine your injuries, then mommy will definitely find you when you come back. Sheng Ran was very calm. It's okay, mommy won't take off my clothes to see, just wait until you are healed and then we will change back, then it won't be so easy to be discovered. Look, the police are here now. If we change our identities, we will be more likely to be exposed. Why don't we wait for a while and change back after mommy and daddy make up? Although Mu Jiuye didn't completely believe it, he was persuaded by Sheng Ran. He really wanted to stay more with his mommy. The time he spent with his mommy was when he felt happiest. Mu Jiuye thought about it and agreed, okay, then I'll listen to you. Actually, I don't want to leave mommy. I want to stay with mommy for a while longer. That's a deal then. You continue to stay here and I'll stay at the Mu family. We'll exchange information at any time and get daddy and mommy together as soon as possible so that our family can live together. Sheng Ran was quite happy when he said this. By then, he would also be daddy's child. Okay, but don't forget to get my medicine back from Dr. Song. I'm about to run out of it, and I can't stop taking it. The consequences will be very serious. Mu Jiuye emphasized the matter of medicine again and again. He would be very scary when he stopped taking it. He didn't want to scare mommy. When Sheng Ran heard Mu Jiuye say this, he became even more suspicious that the medicine was not a good thing. He nodded perfunctorily, don't worry, I will definitely help you find teacher Song to get the medicine. Mu Jiuye then hung up the phone with relief. When he opened the door, he saw a bunch of people standing outside. The nurse was holding a tool in her hand and was about to force the door open. Sheng Ran breathed a sigh of relief when she saw Mu Jiuye coming out. Baby, you are not feeling unwell, are you? Mommy, I'm fine. Who are these people? Mu Jiuye looked at the police. Hello, little boy. We are police officers. We are here to ask you something. Is it convenient for you to come in? The female police officer said gently. Mu Jiuye nodded, sure, please come in. Little boy, can you tell your auntie what the scars on your body are? Looking at the well-behaved Mu Jiuye, the female police officer's heart softened. Mu Jiuye, I made it myself. The policeman was a little surprised. How did you get yourself into this state? Because my mom is alone, I wanted to protect her, so I secretly found someone abroad to practice sonder. These scars on your body were caused by sparring with others. They are just superficial injuries and don't hurt. Mu Jiuye said like a little adult. To prove that it didn't hurt at all, he patted the bruise. Everyone was very surprised to hear what he said, and they obviously didn't expect such an answer. The sentimental policewoman's eyes turned red. You are really a little man, but you are still too young. This kind of scar will affect your growth. You can't practice like this anymore. Another accompanying male policeman was also very touched. When he arrived, he was still wondering what kind of cruel mother would abuse such a young child. He didn't expect the result to be completely different from what he thought. Sheng Ran hugged Mu Jiuye distressfully and said, Mommy doesn't need my protection, baby. Mommy is very good. Don't practice like this next time. I understand, Mommy. Don't cry. I feel sad when I see you crying. Mu Jiuye stretched out his little hand to wipe Sheng Ran's tears. He felt guilty seeing his mommy so sad. Everyone was very moved by his sensible little appearance. The police and the head nurse also apologized to Sheng Ran for the misunderstanding. I'm so sorry, we didn't expect this to happen. We are very sorry. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Let me pay for the little guy's medical expenses as a token of my apology. It's okay, I understand. Sheng Ran didn't pursue the matter any further. She was shocked when she saw the scars on the little guy's body, and she couldn't blame the hospital for the misunderstanding. Sheng Ran sent the police away. Xiao Shushan hesitated to speak. Ran, are you really not going to ask clearly? The injuries on Anan's body don't look like they were caused in a short period of time. Who did he find to practice self-defense abroad? He was so cruel. Sheng Ran shook his head. Anan doesn't want to say it now, and it's hard to get a real answer if we force him. It's better to wait until he wants to say it. She would investigate privately, and she would never let anyone off if they dared to hurt her baby. The little guy's performance just now was obviously very resistant, and Sheng Ran didn't want to force him too much. Okay, then I won't ask anymore. What are you and Mu Yanting planning to do? Are you really going to his house? Xiao Shushan couldn't help gossiping. Sheng Ran was in a complicated mood. Mu Yanting did not give her a chance to choose at that time, so she could only agree. But compared to Mu Yanting, she still wanted to know more about the little guy's situation. Shushan, have you met Mu Yumor? Is he doing well in the Mu family? Xiao Shushan shook her head. I don't know. The Mu family has never let Mu Yanting show his face to the outside world. My brother may have seen him, but I have never seen him. Chapter 26 Mixed Feelings. Because of Sheng Ran, Xiao Shushan also went to find out the news about Mu Yumor, but the Mu family protected Mu Yumor too well, so she couldn't find out any news at all, let alone meet Mu Yumor. Seeing Sheng Ran's worry, Xiao Shushan comforted him. Don't worry, the Mu family is a well-known wealthy family in the capital. As the only son of Mu Yanting, Mu Yumor must have a good material life. Of course I'm not worried about his material life. Sheng Ran was worried about whether Mu Yumor was happy. At that time, Mu Yanting, as the heir of the Mu family, lived like a robot, and she didn't want her son to live like that. However, Sheng Ran did not tell Xiao Shushan about these things because she didn't want Xiao Shushan to worry about them. Shushan, it's getting late now, you should go back and rest. Xiao Shushan nodded. If you want to go to the Mu family, call me and I will go with you. Sheng Ran smiled slightly. Okay. After seeing Xiao Shushan off, Sheng Ran finally had time to rest. When he turned on his phone, he saw several missed calls. She called back and the call was picked up quickly. Sister Ran, the evidence you asked me to collect about the Sheng family's stock market fraud has been collected. Do we still need to wait for the right opportunity? Xiao Qin's voice came over. Sheng Ran founded a company after going abroad, and Xiao Qin is the company's current nominal general manager. Sheng Ran rubbed his tired temples and said calmly, no need to wait, release the information now. I want to make sure the Sheng family never has a chance to turn things around. Xiao Qin hesitated, but Sister Ran, the Mu group also has investments. If the Mu family takes action, we are afraid that. They had taken action against the Sheng family in the past, but each time the Mu group injected capital into the family, allowing the Sheng family to survive. Sheng Ran, the Mu group has terminated its cooperation with the Sheng family, don't worry. Xiao Qin was immediately very happy. That's great, Sister Ran, don't worry, we will definitely make the Sheng family unlucky this time. The next morning, Shingsha Group stock market fraud suddenly appeared on the hot search list. More than a dozen marketing accounts reposted the article in succession. The article detailed how Shingsha Group falsified its sales revenue. The matter immediately became a hot topic and attracted heated discussions from countless netizens. Damn! What a shady company! Isn't this just cheating investors out of their money by faking the stock market? I just bought shares of Shingsha Group, give me back my money. I was wondering why the jewelry of Shingsha Group has not been doing well in recent years, so how come it still has such a high turnover? It turns out it's all fake. The government should investigate this as soon as possible. This kind of black-hearted company is too much. If I remember correctly, the Mu Group seems to have invested in Shingsha Group. Could it be that the Mu Group is also involved? A hot search is Mu Group involved in fraud came up directly. Immediately afterwards, the official account of the Mu Group released an announcement. Due to the continuous losses of Shingsha Group, the company's investment cooperation with Shingsha Group ended last year. Currently, the two companies have no dealings. Please do not spread rumors. This time, Shingsha Group was criticized even more badly. Sheng Yao was bombarded with calls from shareholders all morning. Sheng Yao, are you mistaken? Didn't you say that you have reached a cooperation agreement with the Mu Group? Didn't you say that you have obtained investment? Look at what the Mu Group said. They issued a statement, specifically saying that they would not cooperate with us. Sheng Yao, you disappoint us so much. Can you do things well? I want to withdraw my investment. Your company's stock market has plummeted. Sheng Yao, no, I have already discussed it with President Mu, and President Mu has agreed to cooperate. These are all misunderstandings. Misunderstanding, go check out the online statement. The Mu Group has issued a statement. How can this be a misunderstanding? The shareholders were furious. If they had known this, they would not have believed Sheng Yao's lies. Sheng Yao also couldn't believe it. Why would Mu Yanting suddenly do this? Sure enough, I saw that the Mu Group had already issued a statement. Sheng Yao's heart sank to the bottom in an instant. It was over, she was finished. The Mu Group has distanced itself from the matter, and Sheng Ran Group is doomed. The company has been in debt over the years, and she has been relying entirely on Mu Yanting's investment to support it. Now that Mu Yanting has completely withdrawn his investment, she has no other options. At this time, her cell phone rang again. It was someone from the company calling. Sister, many employees in the company have resigned. The people who had agreed not to make trouble are now making trouble for their wages. What should we do? No one is working now. A bunch of people have come to the company, they are shareholders, making trouble here. What should we do, sister? If we don't deal with them, they will break in. A group of shareholders came to the gate of Sheng Ran Group. What a rubbish company, they actually cheated us out of our money, give it back. The price has dropped so much in the morning. Your company is trying to kill us. And you're talking about being the largest jeweler. Bullshit. I won't leave until you pay me back. Black-hearted company, pay back the money. Where is your boss? Let your boss come out. What exactly is going on with the fraud? Can you explain it clearly? This is a rubbish company. Boss, get out of here. Get out. Chapter 27. What's up with the scars? But Mr. Sheng, you haven't received salary for 2 months. I am here to resign with you. Besides, many employees in the company have submitted their resignations. You should go and have a look yourself. After saying that, the secretary turned around and left. She originally felt a little guilty, but when she saw Xing Yao's arrogant face, all the guilt disappeared. They can't even pay her salary and yet they want to make her suffer. She's just an employee, not a prostitute. Xing Yang was so angry that he was about to die, and the shareholders' faces became even darker when they saw this. They now understood that Xing Yao would definitely not be able to solve this problem. All the employees in the company were leaving, and they didn't want to be blocked in the company by shareholders, so they left one by one. Xing Yao still wanted to retain them, but these shareholders changed their minds faster than turning the pages of a book. They didn't give Xing Yao any face at all and left faster than rabbits. Useless. A bunch of unreliable rubbish. Xing Yao was so angry that she smashed everything in the office. At this moment, her cell phone rang. Xing Yao, what's going on with the company? Is this how you manage the company? Xing Jian had just woken up when he received calls from several shareholders scolding him. Only then did he realize what had happened. The Sheng Ran Group, which he had taken over with great difficulty, was actually destroyed by Xing Yao. He was so angry that he almost had a heart attack. Xing Yao also felt aggrieved. Dad, I don't want to do that either. I was about to get investment from the Mu Group, and I don't know what happened. Xing Jian angrily scolded, you useless piece of shit, you can't even do this. If I had known this would happen, I would have handed the company over to someone else. Husband, how can you talk to our daughter like that? Li Fang took Xing Jian's phone unhappily. Yao Yao, what's going on with the company? Talk to mom about it. Mom, I don't know either. Jiuye had already agreed to invest in me and asked me to send the contract to Chen Zhong. When I contacted Chen Zhong yesterday, Chen Zhong suddenly said that Jiuye had changed his mind. Li Fang knew that her daughter must have been tricked, but she couldn't say much at this time. She could only try her best to comfort Xing Yao. Why don't you go ask Master Zhu to find out what's going on? You need to stay calm now and don't panic. Mom will come to help you in a while. But Mom, Mu Yanting didn't even answer my calls, how can I contact him? Xing Yao was more anxious than anyone else. She didn't want anything to happen to the company. If something happened to the company, her good days would be over. She had finally become the eldest daughter of the Sheng family, and she didn't want her good days to end so soon. If you can't get through by phone, go to the company, humble yourself, and talk to Master Zhu to see if there's any misunderstanding. Mom will go with you. Knowing Xing Yao's character, Li Fang could only try her best to comfort her. Xing Yao was anxious and angry, but she was still able to listen to her mother's words. After listening, she calmed down a little. Okay, Mom, I'll wait for you at the company. You have to come quickly. Now those crazy people have blocked the company, and it's not easy to get in. Li Fang naturally agreed immediately. At this time, the entrance of Sheng Ran Group was blocked by a group of angry shareholders. What a rubbish company, they actually cheated us out of our money, give it back. It's dropped so much in the morning. Your company is trying to kill us. And you're talking about being the largest jeweler. Bullshit. I won't leave until you pay me back. Black-hearted company, pay back the money. Where's your boss? Let your boss come out. What exactly is going on with the sales and stock market fraud? Can you explain it clearly? This is a rubbish company. Boss, get out of here. Get out. As soon as Li Fang got off the car, she was surrounded by a group of people. Are you from Xingshi Group? The person who got off this luxury car must be from Xingshi Group. Please help pay back the money, otherwise we will not be polite. That's right, what's going on with the data falsification? Do you know that you are breaking the law now? Li Fang didn't expect it to be so chaotic here. She was so angry but she could only suppress her temper. I am also a victim. I just came here to ask about the situation. Does anyone know what is going on? Li Fang pretended to say this to someone and quickly sent a message to Xing Yao on her cell phone. I have already calmed the person down, you should quickly get out through the side door while no one is paying attention. When Xing Yao saw the message, she quickly picked up her bag and came out from the back door. So you are also a victim. Let me tell you, everyone in this company has fled, so they definitely don't plan to pay back the money. I think we should put up a banner here, or go to the Xing family to block them. I don't believe they won't pay back the money. Yeah, I think so too. These rich people are so evil. How can they be so greedy for our money? I happen to have a friend who is a lawyer. I think we can hire a lawyer to come and talk to this place. The most important thing is that we can't just block them here. If they catch us and say we're in the downtown area, then our reason will become unreasonable, don't you think? We should leave quickly and come back after the matter is resolved. What you said makes sense. I also think it's inappropriate to be here. We'd better leave first. Let's go.